It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
The Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life on this Monday, March 28th, 2022. Hello again, everyone. Hope you're doing well. It's a lovely Monday in New York City, but it is frickin' freezing out there. Golly. End of March, freezing like this, it feels like winter is just beginning. It's supposed to feel like it's ending. But I'm very excited to be inside, cozy, toasty. So much to get to today. Holy smokes, I feel like we have a million things to get to. Great lineup. Anytime you have the greatest of all time on the program, it's a big day. Of course, I'm talking about GSP, George Rush St-Pierre, the pride of Saint Isidore, Quebec, Canada. Anytime he's on, the man who really made me want to do this for a living, it's a special day. I feel like there's an extra pep in my step. I feel a little more alive, a little more excited, a little more hyped, if you will. And so he'll be on later in the program as well. But so much happened since we last spoke. Of course, there was a UFC event in Columbus. Good to have a fight night in America in front of a crowd. You see the performances. You see the hype. You have Joe Shiesty sitting cage side going up to Daniel Cormier and the crew. It felt bigger. Great performances, great wins from the likes of Kai Kara France. By the way, I don't know if he wins that fight if it's at the Apex. Essentially empty arena, hardly any fans. I don't know if he wins that fight. I'll just say that. Curtis Blaydes shuts up the critics, knocks out Chris Daukaus. A great fight between Brian Barberena and Matt Brown. Barberena gets the nod. Open scoring probably would have helped Matt Brown in that situation, but alas, I digress. Alexa Grasso picking up her first submission win, so that was very exciting. 1X in the morning was tremendous. Demetrius Johnson defeating Rodtang. What about Sexy Yama bringing Sexy back to one championship, beating Shinya Aoki after a horrendous first round. Angela Lee returning. Yeah, there was a lot. A lot happened. A lot happened, especially on Saturday. A lot continues to happen in the sport of MMA. In fact, the UFC is taking a bit of a break, probably because of WrestleMania this Saturday and Sunday. So no UFC this weekend, but still a hell of a lot going on, as always, in the world of MMA. So I'll run down today's lineup, share some thoughts, and of course, I can't wait for the back end of the show when we talk to GC and York Ric. Everyone's talking about the slap heard around the world. And usually we don't jump on these gravy trains, but there's a lot of similarities between what happened last night at the Oscars between Will Smith and Chris Rock. By now, there's no chance you don't know what I'm talking about. Chris Rock makes a subtle joke / dig at Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Will Smith doesn't like it, gets upset, walks up to him, slaps him in the face, then says, "Leave my wife's name out of your effing mouth." Everyone has a take on this. It's everywhere. There was a point last night when it was happening. I just wanted to tweet something that would screw up with people's timelines, like about, I don't know, Bellator's upcoming card, because every single person was tweeting about it. It feels like these were the moments that, you know, Twitter was essentially, like when someone was pitching the idea of Twitter, it was because of this. Every single person was talking about this slap. There's millions and millions of views all over the place. And the reason why I feel like it's related somewhat to our crazy world is because A, there was violence involved, and B, somewhat similar to the Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington situation of last week, right? Family gets talked about. Violence is brought into the equation as a result. Of course, they didn't get into a cage fight earlier, and then, 2 weeks later have this incident. But there are some similarities. So actually, later in the program, GC, York Ric, and I shall debate the intricacies of this incident, the nuances, Frank as well. And I look forward to hearing their takes because I am somewhat conflicted. A bizarre story, a fascinating story, a story that we'll be hearing about, seeing, talking about for decades. The moment in the history of the Oscars, and that certainly is saying a lot. I'll run down the lineup in a second. Before I do start the show, there's no chance that my wife is watching today's program right now, but I do want to wish her a happy 40th birthday. Today is my wife's 40th birthday. Can we get a breaking news, Frank? 40 years young to my wife, who I met when we were 12 in the 7th grade. We haven't been together since the 7th grade, but I've seen her evolve from a classmate to a girlfriend, to an ex-girlfriend, to a girlfriend again, to a fiance, to a wife, to a mother, and it's been an amazing thing. And I can say with the utmost certainty, whatever you may think of my career, whatever you may think of what I've done, there is no chance that any of this happens without her. She gave me the confidence. She gave me the support. She's a tremendous partner. And I mean, I can't even imagine life without her. So happy 40th birthday. I'm here doing the show. I should be with her on her 40th birthday, of course. Later, we'll celebrate. This weekend, we celebrate. But I just wanted to give her a very happy birthday shout out at the very top of the program because it's a big day. And I love her very much. Thank you, Frank. I mean, I'm in the middle of a thing here and you're interrupting, really? I mean, when I'm going to replay this for her later, she's going to say, who's that guy who interrupted your nice speech? What do you have to say about that?
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks. In any event, okay. Today's program, as always, brought to you by our good friends over at DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of the UFC. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use code TheMMAHour for a special offer when you sign up. That's code TheMMAHour only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Please support them because they support us. Later in the program, we'll be joined by GC to run down his picks from this weekend. I think he did well again. Definitely not as well as I did. Remember, I told you, underdog pick of the week, Mateus Nicolau. Who won? Mateus Nicolau. I mean, it's like 6 weeks in a row now. Okay, it's like 6 weeks in a row. It's unbelievable. I need to stop because the books are all going to have to shut down. We'll also be joined by New York Ric, get his Rick's picks again. We'll talk about the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. We may even talk about the Canadian men's national soccer team qualifying for the 2022 World Cup, first time in 36 years. We may even talk about that. But knowing that the haters are out there and knowing what kind of haters they are, they'll probably choose to ignore it. Typical. At around 2:50, we'll be joined by Adam Kovacs, the president of Karate Combat. Karate Combat doing some interesting things, and they've got some big plans for this upcoming season. He has a rich background in martial arts. Interesting guy. We'll be joined by him at 2:50. No, my math sucks. Why do I go backwards? I don't know. It just makes my life more difficult. 2:35, we'll be joined by Bas Rutten, who's one of their color analysts. Legend. You know Bas Rutten, right? You've heard of Bas Rutten? Yes, we'll be joined by him. Wonderboy Thompson will join us at 2:20. He's involved in Karate Combat 2. George St-Pierre at 2 o'clock. He's also involved. That whole last hour and change is related to, obviously, we're not only going to talk about Karate Combat, but there's a thread from guest to guest to guest. At 1:35, we'll be joined by the aforementioned Alexa Grasso. 1:15, we'll be joined by Curtis Blaydes, who had the big win over Chris Dawkins. If you're wondering why no Kai France, GC's favorite, he's in the air right now. Later in the week or early next week, we'll be joined by him, so stay tuned for that. But of course, we had to talk to him. A lot of people to choose from. Can't get them all on the Monday. That's why we have a Monday, Wednesday show. Now, we'll talk a little more about Columbus and 1X and all that stuff later. I did want to get one thing off my chest at the start, and it's something that's been gnawing at me. On this show, we talk a lot about fighter pay, fighter contracts, wanting the best for the fighters, having the balance even out, right? The balance of power. Everything is weighted towards the promoters. Everything's in their favor. You sign a 6-fight deal and you lose one, you can get cut. You sign a 6-fight deal, you look great, you can't walk. I mean, and that's just one of the many examples. We talked last week about Paddy the Baddy and the 12 and 12. Every week, every day, there's another example that pops up of how, the system just isn't fair for the fighters. And something happened over the weekend that I wanted to add to the pile. Of course, it's not news that Nathan Diaz is frustrated with the UFC. I will remind you that Nathan Diaz hasn't fought for the UFC since June of 2021. He fought Leon Edwards. And so I am certain that you have heard UFC President Dana White say over the years in his scrums and his interviews, we have to contractually offer fighters 3 fights a year. You've heard him say this, right? We got to offer them. We got to offer them fights, 3 fights a year, 3 fights a year. And so if you hear that and internalize that and then relate it to the Diaz situation, you're probably thinking to yourself, wait a second, he hasn't fought since June. Why aren't they offering him more fights? Well, this is where it gets super interesting. Nathan Diaz has 1 fight left on his contract. This isn't news as well. he fights in June. In around September or so, there begins to be whispers that they want him to fight Khamzat Chimaev. Anyone in their right mind would know that he would never take that fight. It makes no sense. Last fight in his deal, bad style matchup, etc. The moment Khamzat beat Li Zhangliang in October in Abu Dhabi, he was offered that fight. Now, the UFC knew he wouldn't take that fight. They knew very well he wouldn't take that fight, but they made the offer. Why? Because if he turns it down officially, they can extend the contract by 6 months. Okay? So what happened? They offered it. He turned it down. They now extend the contract, thus kicking, the ball down the field in hopes of the stars aligning so that the last fight could be against Conor McGregor or re-signing him so that he could do, Conor, Dustin, Tony, etc. Now, here we are in late March. Almost every second day, we're getting a tweet from Nathan Diaz saying, can you release me? Can you give me a fight? I'm ready to go. I haven't fought since June, etc. At this point, it's not helping his brand. I don't think anyone really believes that he's going to get released. I don't think anyone really believes that he's going to Bellator. I think people are like, all right, enough already. What's going on here? And so let me ask you guys this. In this world where you can get cut after signing a 6-fight deal after the first fight, right? In that world, in the world where there's no revenue sharing, where there's no collective bargaining, where you don't have sponsors anymore, well, they'll put sponsors on you and you don't get a cut of that. Well, they'll sign, $1.5 billion TV deals and you won't get a cut of that. You'll have a situation where the promoter is making over $1 billion in revenue, most of it fixed revenue. You won't get a cut of that. In that world, why is it that there's a guy who's getting a little up there in age who says, I want to fight, and they don't have to honor that? This guy is literally saying, give me a fight June, give me a fight July, give me a fight August, give me a fight February, give me a fight January. It's on the record. Why don't they have to honor that? And so again, one more example as to how the contracts aren't fair for the fighters, and yet we'll sit here and the fans will say enough already, and most of the fighters will come on, especially the new ones, and they'll say, oh, I love it. We get the PI, they treat us well when we check in, but eventually in 10 years, when they'll realize that after taxes, after coaches, after managers, there isn't enough left for you to even, sail off into the sunset, you'll realize why us who are sitting, on the back end are being like, yo, this doesn't add up, especially the ones who follow other sports and see the rights and see the breakdowns that other athletes get closer to 50-50 as opposed to 85-15 or 80-20, or for being kind, 75-25, there's no chance it's 25. This is another example. And so I'm sitting there on Saturday and I see again, he's asking to be released. He wants to fight. That, the release isn't going to be honored. The fights aren't going to be honored because there's no sign of that coming anytime soon. Why is it that he can turn down essentially a bogus offer in Khamzat Chimaev, get extended on the last fight of his deal, and now we're approaching a year since he hasn't fought, and he continuously asks on the record, off the record, behind the scenes, via text, via DM, via Twitter, via Instagram, and nothing happens. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? How does this not frustrate you? If you're a fighter watching this situation play out, if you're a media member watching this situation play out, most importantly, if you are a paying customer watching this situation play out, how does this not frustrate you? Again, offered Khamzat, turned down, extended. Months later, give me a fight, give me a fight, give me a fight. Nope. Nothing happens. Does he get that 6 months back? Does he get money back for the money does he get free agency? Nothing. Do you see what I'm trying to say? How does this not frustrate you? And so I see it and I'm like, golly, more of this? When does this end? Like, imagine you're a basketball player, a football player, a baseball player, and you're like, I want to play. No, we're not going to let you play. But wait, we have a contract. You have to let me play. Nope. We get to decide when you play. Oh, we're going to make you play Sunday morning after you just went out last night and it's against, the 27 Yankees. No, I'm not ready to do. Okay, so you're going to sit out for another, like what? It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. The whole thing is crazy. Drives me nuts. And it's frustrating. And it's like, is there any end in sight to this? I love the sport because of the fighters. I love the sport because of the fights, because of the promotion, about all this. And then you'll have people, I'll say this, and then of course they'll make it personal. They'll go on, you bring up this stuff, you bring up these like nuances in the sport. You'll bring up these, what I think, injustices in the sport, and inevitably, like what happened last week, with my good friend Graham. They make it personal. They talk about your life, how pathetic you are. I'm not making this. I'm talking business here. I'm not questioning anyone's life. I'm not trust me, we could get in, to all the stuff and the feedback that I got after I talked about the Patty situation. Not interested, don't care, don't need to do it. I mean, like the idea that I need to talk about that dude for clicks, I mean, just blows my mind. 99% of the people who watch the show have never even heard of him. He tweets, 3 things about me or MMA media. He gets 4 likes. The idea that we need to talk about him for likes is the most asinine thing I've ever heard. But the point is, if we don't talk about these things and we don't bring up these injustices and these conflicts of interest and the way this whole system and whole sport is built and structured to be anti-fighter, to leave them with nothing at the very end, to leave them powerless, to leave them with no actual, bargaining power, leverage, all that, seat at the table, a voice. If you don't care about that stuff, I wonder and I question if you actually love this sport. And this stuff is starting to get to me. It's starting to really, really get to me. No longer can I be quiet about this stuff. And I'm not going to be quiet about this stuff. But you see all this stuff happening to these fighters, and then you see the ones that we came into the sport covering, loving, and on the back end being left with nothing. You don't have to sit and wonder why that is. Why are they left with nothing? They're left with nothing because nothing in this sport, except for the top 1%, is structured in their favor. And then you'll have the top 1% say, oh, I'm going to give back. Where's the giving back? There is no giving back. Begging for, a $50K bonus when it's a gate of 4 million. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch all these things. So anyway, I wanted to get off that off my chest because like the Diaz thing, I was like, oh, there's another thing that we haven't talked about. The fact that you can get extended if you turn down a fight, and the fact that they can't do anything or you can't do anything to them if you want to fight and they won't give you one. And that's the truth. There's nothing anyone can say about what I just said that's inaccurate, not factual, all that stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest. Let's talk to Curtis Blaydes. He had a big win on Saturday, and he deserves some of our time. He joins us now without further ado. Hey, Curtis, how are you?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here.
Congratulations on the win. Massive win. I felt like you had a chip on your shoulder the size of Ohio on Saturday. You wanted to shut some people up. Wrong or right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I read the comments. I hear the opinions on YouTube and Instagram and everything. People always let me know what the haters are talking about me. And I wanted to make a statement. I've been telling the world for a few years now, I know how to strike. I never felt like I had to strike, but I wanted to make a statement.
Why do you read that stuff? Why do you even let that enter your psyche?
I don't read it as often as I used to. I used to spend hours reading everything. Now it'll just be like that one comment. I don't know. It sticks with me. It feels disrespectful, and I don't like to be disrespected. Like, a lot of people hate on my grappling ability. I'm just like, I don't understand why I'm expected to ignore like a major hole in my opponent's skill set just to please people who really don't care about my health or my finances. But I'm beginning to understand the game, and I know what the people want. They want to see knockouts on the feet. They want to see highlights. They want explosive initiation. I know I have the ability, and I'm going to do my best to put that on display more for people.
You know what's crazy? You have won 6 of 7, 50% of those wins, so 3 of those wins are via finish, KO or TKO. So the notion that you're just like a guy who wrestles, and by the way, it's part of the rule set. Like, you can wrestle if you want, but I get it. It's entertainment and all that prize fighting. This notion that you're boring or that you just use wrestling, your decision machine, is actually inaccurate just by virtue of those stats right there. I mean, like big knockouts, like highlight reel knockouts. And so I don't get it either. It must drive you nuts when you hear this stuff.
It does. But then again, I have to think about who are the people that are making these comments. They're usually casuals. They're usually imports from the boxing world or Muay Thai or another type of striking discipline. So their opinions are skewed, and I understand that, but I also understand a lot of the fan base thinks that way. So I have to adjust if I want to continue to be a part of the UFC and grow my name, grow my brand, and continue to earn good money. There are things I have to do, and that's why this weekend we went in with a mindset to do that.
I love the call out afterwards. I love that you had someone in mind, and I think the fight makes a lot of sense. The Stipe situation was a little funny because it didn't seem like he was listening to you. I don't know if he was no-selling on purpose or not. I think he was actually just like taking pictures with people. But in retrospect, what did you make of that whole scene afterwards?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Originally in my head, I was thinking gone. And then when DC pointed out that Stipe was there, I was like, oh, I didn't even realize he was there because I didn't know. I'm not paying attention to that stuff. But then when he brought it up, we had to I was like a spur of the moment type of thing. And I really don't believe that he would fight me because I believe he deserves a title shot. I believe that. I don't know if he's going to get it, but I didn't really believe that he wants to fight me. I don't think he believes I'm worth it. So
really,
I mean, I think I'm worth it, but it's not about what I think. It's about what everyone else thinks. You know?
Right. Are you guys friends? I mean, I know you've trained together in the past.
Yeah, we're cool. We haven't spoken in a few years, but I still follow him on IG. I think he still follows me. I'm not exactly sure, but we got no beef. It's all business.
But to be clear, if you had your first choice, it would be Ciryl Gane, right?
Yes.
What do you think happens with the whole Francis situation?
I don't know. I don't understand exactly what's going on because originally I heard he wanted to go to boxing, but then I heard he has to defend, and then he has the injury, so he has to defend the UFC belt before he's allowed to leave. Is that correct?
No, if the contract is up, one way or the other, the contract is up end of this year, and that's that. Even if he is champion, he can leave.
Well, yeah, I don't know. If I'm him, I'm just gonna box. They make a lot of money, and he would make a lot of money against Joshua or Tyson or Deontay. He would be rich. So if I'm him, I let my knee heal up and get ready to box.
How do you think he would do?
Honestly, based off the top boxers in the heavyweight division I've watched, I'm not overly I think he does well. I think he has the reach. I think we know he has the explosion and the athleticism. And with those gloves, those bigger gloves, he may not have the same impact, but I think he wins. I think he can beat any of those guys.
When you see what I don't know how much you pay attention to it, but Dillian White, that dude's making $8 million to fight Tyson Fury next month. When you see what the heavyweight boxers are making compared to what you guys make, the top 5 of the UFC's heavyweight division. I'm talking heavyweights here. I'm not even comparing you guys to other weight classes, just heavyweight to heavyweight. How do you react to that?
It's exciting. It's always good to know that there's something on the other side of MMA because you can't fight forever, and at the end you just want to get your money, and that's always going to be a good avenue. If you build up your name and your brand in the UFC or in MMA, you have the opportunity to transition over into the boxing world, and you can make a lot of money at the end of your career.
I remember around a year and a half or so ago, you were a little vocal about pay and all that stuff. And then I felt, this is not me knowing anything on the inside, I felt like you were kind of iced for a minute. and they were mad about it. But I feel like now you're back. You're like back in the good graces. Was that a thing that happened? Because you're in the main event and everything, so it seems like they're okay with you. But I felt like they were kind of frustrated with you because you talked about it. The fight wasn't so exciting. The brass seemed mad. They ice you for a second. Is that a thing that happened?
Well, yes, they were frustrated with me, and they have every right to be. Me speaking on the hey, I'm just happy I got a job. I had a job during COVID. A lot of people didn't have that opportunity. I was still able to earn and provide for my family. So I get that. And you're right. The Volkov fight, it wasn't my best performance. That's not my best. I can admit that because I know I can do better. But I don't think I was iced. I think it was just, after Volkov fight, we're talking about after Derek Lewis. I had an 8-month medical suspension. I wasn't really iced. it was for my brain. I wasn't able to really compete. So I had to wait. So I don't think they were like purposely icing me out now.
Okay, that was after the Derek Lewis fight.
Yeah,
but also after Volkov, it was 6 months too. It was June to February.
Well, that was because I was matched up with Derek Lewis in November of that year. That
right. Yep.
COVID.
Yep.
So that's what that was. Yeah.
That's a great point. So what about that loss to Derek? How did it change you as a fighter?
I learned a lot. I learned a great deal. I learned I need to believe in my hands, because if you watch that first round, I owned him. I can say that with 100% like confidence. I was owning him. I didn't need to force that takedown at the beginning of the next round, but in my head, I still had that wrestler's mentality. Like, okay, you did enough striking, get him on the ground. I didn't have to do that, and that was the biggest takeaway. Believe in your hands.
Sometimes when when a fighter gets knocked out, it changes, makes them a little gun shy, a little tentative. It didn't really look like that against Jairzinho, but did you feel a little bit early on in that fight? Like, were you still thinking about it, or by the time you fought, was it completely in the rearview mirror?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It was on the outskirts of my mind. Like, when you get knocked out like that, I woke up in an ambulance. So that's a weird feeling. And it got to me a little bit. But after the first round with Jairzinho, it was gone. Initially it was there, but then it was gone after the first round.
Wow. You woke up in the ambulance?
Yeah. I woke up. People always ask me who hits harder, Archon, Ngannou, Derek Lewis. I've fought them all, and only once I've been hit hard by Archon. He rocked me. He wobbled me. Ngannou, when I went to Beijing, he dropped me, but I was like still like there. But Derek Lewis, all I remember is thinking in my head, okay, I'm gonna shoot, and then I wake up in the ambulance. So
damn,
I think he hits the hardest.
Did you get stretchered out of that one, or you only just like regain consciousness? You don't even remember.
I don't remember. Yeah, I woke up in the ambulance. Yeah.
Wow, that is wild. Like right now, have you even watched the fight again?
The Derek Lewis fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've watched it a few times since then, just to take away the positives I was doing, like the movement, the angles, the combinations. There was a lot of things I did really well. Then there was that one thing I didn't do very well. And that's when I took that shot. I took it like correctly in front of him. That's something else we learned. I need to get offline before I shoot.
Mm. Is that one before your career is done that you'd like to get back?
I mean, you always want to avenge the losses. Who knows if he's around that long? Because honestly, it doesn't seem like Derek Lewis has that fire, like he wants to be around for a while. I don't know, because he did retire a few years ago, and then he came back. So you never know with him. But yeah, I'd like to get that back.
Were you surprised that he lost, and especially the way in which he lost to Ty?
I wasn't surprised he lost, but how he lost. Like, to see him hit high with everything he hit him with. He hit him with a lot of big, significant strikes. And for Ty to eat that and be able to bounce back, and then to force Eric Lewis to be the one to shoot, that was very interesting. So I wasn't shocked that he lost it. When you fight like he does, like that brawling type of style, you're always going to be open to counter strikes. So I knew there was an opportunity there, but to see him hit Tuivasa with everything and that wasn't enough, yeah, that was a little surprising.
There's a great, I think, like push of youngsters in the heavyweight division. You got Ty doing his thing, Tom Aspinall. Did you see that fight, Tom Aspinall, last weekend? Were you impressed with him?
Yeah, I did. Very impressive.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of interesting matchups for you. There's Cyril, of course. I feel like it's one of those three guys next. If it was up to you, obviously you said Cyril. I actually feel like there's a chance. Who knows? I mean, like it seems like they might have to do an interim title. I don't see John Jones coming back anytime soon. I don't know if Stipe is coming back anytime soon. Do you think there's a chance your next fight is actually for the interim belt, regardless of opponent?
Yeah, I think after this weekend and just the state of the division, like you just said, we don't know what's going on with John. We don't know what's going on with Stipe. Like we know what Stipe wants. He wants a title shot. But is he going to get it? And is he going to hold out until he gets what he wants? We don't know. So, yeah, I think an interim between me and Gon, or me and whoever, but I think I should be in that title fight. I deserve that. I have the resume. I've been in the top 5 for a few years now, and I think I deserve that.
When do you want to return?
I would be down to come back like end of the summer, July, August, sometime around there.
Also, are you, would it be fair to say that you're in the best shape of your career?
No, it can always get a little better. It can always get a little better. I am improving though. As I get older, I'm realizing, like, unfortunately it's taking me this long, but I'm realizing like sleep is important. What I'm eating, the powders, the supplements, the BCAAs, I've just really started to like really focus in on that stuff, and it's helping, and I'm going to continue to get better at that. I think the next fight, I like to enter around 255 just to have a little more energy because I'm expecting to have another 5-round fight.
And you think Dawkins should move down to 205? Why is that?
I do, just because, like I said, I forgot who asked me originally after the fight, but I'm just because you weigh 240 whatever pounds doesn't mean exactly that you have the frame to be a heavyweight. Like, I think he can easily make like heavyweight. I think he'd have a lot more success at heavyweight because he's very fast. He doesn't have the pop behind his punches. Because he did hit me with an overhand, and it just glanced off. It didn't even hurt. And that's when I knew, like, he doesn't have the power.
The way you set up that right hand was beautiful. I mean, you look like a freaking bantamweight out there. That was amazing stuff, man. Of all your knockouts, is that up there?
Oh yeah, it's up there. That's I think I'd have to go Junior, Dawkins, and then Alistair.
Oh yeah. Man, what a list. What a list of legends. And that's why I feel like people need to respect you more and stop painting you with that brush of the wrestler boring. I mean, I don't honestly, when I think of Curtis Blaydes, I think of your ground and pound. I think of you like mauling guys with your elbows on the ground. I think of those knockouts that you just mentioned. Now this one on Saturday. It's frustrating to hear that stuff. And like I said, 6 of 7. The loss to Derek. A lot of people have lost to him. Francis, obviously. I mean, it's only the creme de la creme. So people need to start respecting you a little more, in my opinion. Okay. All right. You want me to fight them for you? Because I will.
Thank you. Hey, having you on my side would help a lot. I do appreciate that.
Well, I'm on your side, Curtis. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the knockout. I bet you love fighting in front of the people, right? Like you've now had 2 straight in front of the people.
Oh, yeah.
So much different, right? The energy, the buzz.
The energy. It was amazing. And just, I wasn't expecting to receive like the love. It almost like I was in Chicago, almost.
Wow, that is amazing. Especially, Illinois, Ohio, not exactly the best of friends as far as states go, but yeah, they did show love.
Yeah.
I believe the highest grossing fight night of all time is what they said in terms of the gate and all that. So pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Well done to you and everyone. Thank you for the time, Curtis. I appreciate it, and congrats again.
Thank you. I appreciate being on the show.
All right, there he is, Curtis Blaydes. Razor Blaydes. Yeah, listen to this lineup of people that he has beaten as of late. Chris Daukaus, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Alexander Volkov, Junior Dos Santos, Shamil Abdurakhimov, Justin Willis, prior to the Ngannou fight, knocked out Alistair Overeem. Remember that in Chicago? Got a performance of the night bonus for that one. Also got one for Saturday. Prior to that, Mark Hunt, Alexei Oleinik, Daniel Omelianchuk, beat Adam Milstead. That was overturned, but in the fight beat him. I mean, it was marijuana. Cody East. I mean, in the UFC, his only losses, 2 to Francis and 1 to Derek. This man's one of the top fighters in the heavyweight division. Respect. Great performance. I wonder how Daukaus feels about that suggestion to move down. A big guy, but obviously, it's not all 100% muscle. He's not like a Francis, if you will. Had looked good up until the Derek Lewis fight. Had won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row, but not against the upper echelon of the heavyweight division. Undefeated in the UFC before he met Derek Lewis in December and got knocked out. And so we'll see where Mr. Chris Daukaus goes from here. There were a ton of great and impressive performances. Of course, I mentioned Mateus Nicolau, Manon Fiorot won as well. She continues to roll. Chris Gutierrez with the very impressive TKO win. Sarah McMahon, who was a big underdog against Carol Hossa, had an impressive win. Mark J. Casey was a big underdog. He won as well. Neil Magny tied George St-Pierre's record of most wins in the welterweight division. He beat Max Griffin. Kai Kara France was a big one. The split decision, the unanimous decision. Neil Magny had the split. And Brian Barberina had a split over Matt Brown and, of course, Curtis Blaydes. But in the co-main event, we had a very impressive performance by Alexa Grasso. Her first win via submission in her great career. Now 3 in a row in the flyweight division since moving up to flyweight, and probably should have won a performance bonus as well. But you know how those things go. You can't have 9 like you had in London. So what's her bonus? She gets to be on the show and talk to all of us. Without further ado, let's go to Mexico and say hello to Alexa Grasso. There she is. Alexa, how are you?
Hi, Adriel. How are you?
¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien. I think this is the first time that you're on the show here. Is this true?
Yeah, this is the first time.
Wow, what an honor for us. Thank you so much.
No, what an honor for me. Finally.
Yes, finally. Well, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on 3 in a row. Because it was a win over someone like Joanne Calderwood, who I understand you really admired and have a lot of respect for, because it was submission. Does this rank as maybe your favorite win so far?
Yes, of course. I think I haven't seen the new rankings, but I hope that I'm up right now. And yes, I think this is the higher I've been. She's a girl with a lot of experience. She has a lot of fights more than me. And of course, winning my first fight, first round, first submission, it means the world to me.
I saw you wrote something about Joanne on your Instagram. Why do you have so much respect for her?
Because I remember that when I made my debut at Invicta FC, I had to fight against a girl named Ashley. And, when you are going to fight against someone, I don't know if everyone, but me, I like to watch all the fights that they have. So one of those fights was against Jojo. And that's when I met her. And it's like, wow, she has a crispy striking and elbows and kicking. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try to use that. I want to be like that. So yeah, she's someone I've been looking for so long time. And I've been watching all her fights. I saw when she moved from 15 to 125, and to fight with her means a lot.
Did you have a chance to tell her this before the fight?
No, not. But we a few times we had like a little time together. Like, hey, I say thank you for the fight. That was a pleasure. the thank you, just little things. I always try to be, I know that we're going to fight, and most girls do not like to be, how can I say it? Too close.
Right.
But I don't care. We're not enemies. I'm not enemy of any of my opponents. All the opposite. I'm thankful with all of them because they push me to be better. They push me to be stronger, and to put limits, it's not a good thing. So they are doing that.
When you were kind of thinking of the fight and game planning and seeing how it would play out in your mind, did you think that a submission would be possible?
I wanted that because, like I said, she's a good striker. She has more experience. And of course that I know of, I love striking fights. I do. But I knew also that fight could go, with elbows. She caught me with that elbow. Actually, I have this side of my face with pain. But it was the opportunity. I knew that if, striking was not working, which it was, but that elbow got me. I was waiting for the elbow this side because she was doing the spinning and the elbow was like this. But she changed it and she did it like this, this angle. And that changed everything because I was waiting here trying to counter that, but it was another angle. So it changed the way I was expecting to respond. And I just saw the opportunity and said, okay, let's try it, Why not? Why not try to do this? I made that technique a lot of times and it worked.
What was the feeling like when you felt her tap?
I was like, oh my God, I am doing this finally, because when you're in training, you visualize that, like I want to do this and this and this, but when it's happening in the fight, it's like, oh my God, I'm achieving everything I've been working.
When you were fighting at 115, how difficult was it for you to get to that weight?
At the beginning of my career, it was not difficult because I had not much muscles. But as I was getting older, it started to be, difficult. When I started when I had 25, 26, I felt like my body changed and it changed a lot. So it was pretty difficult by that time. But now I feel good. I feel amazing. And this is the third time I do this experiment on myself, that I'm not exposing myself a lot to heat. I'm not using a lot of dehydration.
Yeah.
And it feels good. I know that I've been smaller than my 3 last opponents, a lot smaller, but I feel so good because I read also that bodies are not meant to be on heat. It's not good for the head. It's not good for the heart, the muscles. They are not meant to do on the heat, So I just hope that this can help a lot of girls that are starting or that are already having issues with their cuts. Sometimes if you change your division, it's good. And, this sport is evolving, and I hope that we all girls can do something to be healthier and happier and better in our fight week, in all the camp and the fights.
So when you say no heat, you mean like saunas and things like that? You don't do that anymore?
Not much. No, I just train with sweet sweat. I train. And as I'm drinking a lot of water and I'm eating, I'm sweating a lot.
Wow.
I just did 3 baths, but so smooth, nothing like, not the hot room, just the tub, not too hot also. And I was sweating because I was not stressed too. So that helps your body sweat more.
How much do you attribute your performances in your last 3 fights, because you've looked great in all 3 of them, to this, decision to not expose yourself to heat, to not cut, to not dehydrate? Do you feel like there's, like a perfect correlation between how you're feeling in the build up to the fight and then of course on the night to, not having to cut all that weight?
I think it helps a lot because all my camp, I wasn't the same weight. No, it was not like the last 115 fights because I was big, then was small, and then big and bloated, and, with stomach issues and all those things. Now, I keep eating all the week. I have a Jay on my weight cut man from Lockhart and Lay that they are feeding me, and I can eat all the day, and it feels amazing. I think that's the most important week, and it's not good that you have to put low calories and low water. I don't think that's good. Well, I've seen on myself.
Right. I remember when it was February of 2015, there was an Invicta show in Los Angeles the night before Ronda versus Kat Zingano. And you were featured on it. I'm pretty sure Irene Aldana was featured on it as well. And it felt like, and then I think you took a picture with Dana White in the back. They came to check it out, right? Because it was in Los Angeles. Maybe Lorenzo was there too. And everyone thought like, oh, Alexa, Irene, they're going to go to the UFC. Finally, they have, Mexican stars, female stars. It's going to be great. And I think there was a lot of pressure put on you to be that kind of next face and be like, the face of Mexican MMA for at least women's MMA. In retrospect, that was 7 years ago, amazingly. Did you feel that pressure? And if you did it get to you at any point?
I can't. I remember those days, and they were amazing. And of course, there was pressure. I was so young. It was a lot of media, a lot of lights. Being in the UFC, Invicta and UFC are so different. Invicta is like home. Everyone's a girl in there. And when you make the change to UFC, it's big. It's a big company, big in all aspects. So yeah, but I'm happy that since the start of my career, I had been on those challenges. My second fight was a co-main event too with a high prospect. And yeah, well, maybe it was not the beginning I wanted. I wish I could have done better. But I am proud of myself because I handled those situations. And now, because of all those experiences, now I'm having 2 co-main events in a row, doing perfectly. And I'm so happy of all the path I've been having.
If you could tell that young woman something, give her some advice 7 years ago, knowing how, this would play out or what was to come, what do you think you would tell the younger version of yourself?
Just, face everything, do it the best as you can, give it 3 times more than you can, and be focused all the time. I'm a very disciplined person. I love to do everything perfect, everything I like to have everything on point. And I think that's the key, try to also enjoy. Maybe that's a good advice too, because sometimes, trying to do everything too perfect gives you a lot of pressure on yourself. You are angry with yourself because sometimes you can't. So yeah, I think that's another key, try to enjoy more. Of course, to be focused, but try to enjoy a little bit more, and just, whatever it comes, just say, yes, I'm going to do it.
So in the early days, would it be fair to say that you didn't smell the roses enough? You didn't enjoy the journey?
No, I did. But like I said, I wanted to do perfect. I wanted to do everything so perfect that I was stressed on myself. Like, damn, why didn't work my way? Trying to say why instead of, okay, doesn't matter. You enjoy it. You did it good. Instead of, say bad things to yourself, just tell you hey, you did your best. You are going to do better next time.
Are you still with the same gyms? I'm pretty sure you're the same team that you were back then.
Yes, I still work with the same team. I know that a lot of people, when I had some lust, they told me hey, you change your gym, blah, blah, blah. But, I love my team. It's also my uncle. I can't do that.
Did you ever feel? Did you ever feel the pressure to leave, or did anyone try to ever convince you to leave? I respect the fact that you have stuck with him, and it's family, so it makes it a little trickier. But did you ever feel that pull to leave?
Not much. He allows me to go to other gyms, and I've been in other gyms. Of course, he's like, hey, tell me, how was it? What did you learn? How was that? Who's the coach? And I was like, no, everything is good. But the thing that he allows me to go and try, to try other gyms, to meet other people, it's good because it's like, okay, it's nice, but I want to go back to my gym.
And is your father still involved in your career?
Yes, he is. But now we have a little sister, so he's a little busy right now with her.
Meaning like a baby?
Yes.
How old is she?
I think she's 3.
She's 3. Wow. Good for your dad.
She just birthed. Yeah, I remember that. It was a few weeks ago, I think 3.
Okay. And
She's
so
very young.
yeah. Wow. I wasn't
She's starting to train too.
Really? That is impressive. Because I remember your dad would travel to your fights and whatnot. Does he not do that?
No. Like he's a little busy. A little kid gives a lot of attention. Well, needs a lot of attention.
Sure. I was reading on your bio on UFC.com, and I think you wrote this like before you entered the UFC, and it said that you were at the time still studying for a degree in physical culture and sports. Did you ever get that degree?
No, I had to leave 1 year of before finish because it was when I had my contract for my UFC debut at Mexico City, and I had to travel. Because of the elevation, we have to go like 1 month and a little bit more. And I was like, oh, well, what can I do? It was like to leave to Mexico and leave the school. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it. But I have like, a paper that says that I almost finished it.
Okay. What is physical culture and sports? Like, what is that? Like, what would that ultimately lead to?
Okay. It's about everything of the human body, how it works, what is the composition, the bones, everything that it's inside, nutrition, like exercise, how can I say it? Methods?
Okay.
Methods?
Yeah. Methods.
Yeah, hydration, sociology.
Okay, yeah.
Biology, a lot of everything that's involved with the human body and what an athlete needs to perform at the best.
Okay.
Or you can be like normal person, athlete, or just because of you need it because of health. So those are the 3 most important things, and everything about all the sports, the rules, the places, how many players, everything about the most popular sports. That's basically.
So when your career is over in many, many, many years, do you want to be working in this field?
Yes, of course. Well, I have the vision. I love to teach, but for girls, I think as being a pioneer of Mexican MMA, I feel that I can do a lot for the new girls that are starting. I can see that in my gym we have a lot of little girls that are starting their careers, and they say like, hey, I want to be like you, you're my inspiration. And they are so good right now. I watch them training and now they're competing and like, oh my God, that's like little me.
Yeah.
And it feels good. So maybe when I'm retired, I would like to teach, girls, maybe not to fight, but, this experience about fighting, about putting goals, about, just try it.
Have you seen a big difference, like more people training, more young kids training since when you started with, Tough Mexico, all that stuff? Have you now seen, there's Brandon Moreno, there's Kane, Yair Rodriguez. The sport has come a long way, and there's now faces that people can attach at the top of the game. Young kids can look up to you. Have you seen a change in the interest that it's not just boxing in Mexico now? There are young kids who want to be MMA fighters too, or at least train in MMA?
Yes, I've seen it. Even in tournaments, we have a few tournaments here in Mexico, and there are kids like so small. They are competing. They are girls. Now the white belts are a lot of white belts, the blue belts. It's growing so fast. And also we have MMA tournaments in Mexico City. And we also had a few weeks ago here in Guadalajara, an MMA tournament for amateurs, for teenagers. And I'm glad because of the parents are starting to see that this sport gives your kids also, discipline. And it's good. It's growing so fast.
By the way, when you were growing up, were you a fan of Lucha Libre as well?
I used to watch on TV, and when I was in the school in the university, they made a class of that. They took us to the Lucha Libre, and it's cool, it's nice. And in Mexico City, I came to watch Cain Velasquez too, and if it's hard, they are hard on that. I know that maybe they practice everything before, but oh my God, it's cool.
It's cool. Yeah. Actually, I'm big in the lucha libre world. They call me El Nariz.
You like
I have one.
El Nariz, yeah.
Yes. Some people say La Nariz, but I say El Nariz, just for the record.
El Nariz, yeah. El Nariz is
Thank
okay.
you. Our next guest is actually George St-Pierre, and I read that you said you don't have any heroes, but you respect. He's your favorite. Look at your eyes; they just opened up. Is that true? And why George?
I can tell that I have a lot of people who inspired me, but Gina Carano, it was like, oh my God, I want to be like that. I want to be this mix of beauty and power, that's something I wanted. But George St-Pierre is someone, that the respect, the discipline. I had his book too. I read it. With all my respect, I want to be like that. I also used to fight with my gi. I don't know if you remember that. Because of that, because he's someone I admire so much. And I want to be like that on the sports for Mexico and for the women.
Have you ever met him?
No, never.
Oh,
I just, follow his pages and that, his exercises too. Yes. I practice them too. Yeah. But
he's crazy.
He's
ice bath. He's in like the freezing cold and he's going in the ice bath. You see that?
I know. That's so crazy.
He's a crazy guy. The opposite. Have you ever met Gina Carano? Did you ever get a chance to tell her that?
No, not either. No.
Okay. Well, one of these days, hopefully you get to meet these people.
Hopefully. Yeah.
How far away do you think you are from being in the title picture? Because the thing with 125 is there's not that many people that Valentina hasn't fought at 125. So in your mind, how far away do you think you are?
I hope not too far. I am training so hard, sharpening my technique in all my areas, as you can see, and I've shown. No, I don't trust now just in my hand and my kicks. Now I'm using my wrestling. Now I'm using my jiu-jitsu, and I think that's the only way to be on the top. To keep facing good challenges, and I hope that I'm closer every day.
So what do you think? Like one more fight? In your mind, what are you thinking?
I hope so. Yeah, well, maybe, I don't know. Because I've seen that in the flyweight division, most of the girls that are having the opportunity to fight for the title, they have 4 wins in a row. So maybe, I think, I don't know. I hope so.
Okay.
But maybe one more. And I'm just waiting to talk with my matchmaker to see what's next.
And you feel like you're ready for her?
Yes, of course. I have a lot of experience like her, but I'm working so hard, and I've seen, Brandon Moreno taught us that when you work hard, when you have a vision, when you have, everything that when you're doing everything that it requires to be there, you can achieve it. So I'm believing in myself. I'm working so damn hard to be ready for facing Valentina. I respect her so much, and it will be an honor to face her.
So, let's say Tyla can't fight, they call you, you say yes?
Of course, yes. Of course, why not? Opportunities are like that. You have to be ready. And since I'm not injured, I'm going back to the gym, just to be ready, because like you said, it could happen. We don't know. It could happen.
Yes. What a story that would be. Well, I'm very happy for you. It's great to see you evolve into the fighter that you've become, a well-rounded mixed martial artist. You're not just a striker. Obviously, striking is, the backbone of your game and extremely impressive, and that has improved. But to see you do what you did on Saturday as well, very impressive. So keep it up. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you so much.
And great to have you on the show for the first time. We'll do it again soon.
It was great. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay. Talk to you soon. All the best. Congrats. Gracias.
Bye.
There she is. Alexa Grasso, who I think would be a great lucha libre competitor as well. I would love to see her get a big fight next, and then see where she goes from here in terms of the flyweight division. But if you look at the rankings and you look at who's in the top 10, there ain't a lot of people left, to be honest with you. Valentina, She beat Andrade. She beat Chukagian, who looks like she's going to resign. She beat Lauren Murphy. She beat Jennifer Maia. She's fighting Tayla Santos. She has not fought Viviane Araújo as of right now. She beat Jessica Ai. I mean, there's not a lot of people there. Manon's coming up. She's looking good. I would suspect right now Alexa is probably one win away. And she's come a long way. Has won her last 3 in a row. Prior to that, lost to Carlos Barza in a majority decision. That was fight of the night. That was at strawweight. Prior to that, beat Karolina Kovacevic. Prior to that, lost to Tatiana Suarez, beat Randa Marcos. She was rotating, 1-1-1-1-1. She had a stretch where she would win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. And ever since then, she has won 3 in a row. So, very impressive. All right. Like I said at the top, anytime we are joined by the greatest of all time, it feels like a special day. Anytime we have royalty in our presence, it's a very special day. And so without further ado, we must say hello now to the greatest of all time. Not just the greatest welterweight, the greatest MMA fighter of all time is in our presence. He is the former UFC welterweight and middleweight champion. He is the pride of Saint Isidore, Quebec, Canada. He is my friend and yours, the great George Rush St-Pierre, joining us right now via the magic of Zoom. There he is, my friend George. Ça va, George?
What an introduction, Ariel. My goodness, I can't believe it.
Always.
Thank you.
Always for you, my friend. Look at you wearing the gi, and you're here on behalf of Karate Combat. Thank you so much for joining us, George.
I'm back to my roots, guys.
Yes. I love it. I love it, my friend. And I love that you have the microphone taped to your chest over there. I saw that. The magic of TV.
Oops, I wanted to hide it. I'm sorry.
No. It's all good. Okay, George. So don't have a lot of time with you, so I want to get right to it. You are back working with Karate Combat. What are you doing with them? Last year, you were the seasoned sensei. Are we doing the same thing with them?
Yeah, season 4. It's amazing. Fights are even better, and there's a lot of good talent here. I can't wait for people to watch it and see what's coming.
So last year was the season 3 for Karate Combat was your first season affiliated with the organization. What did you like about what they were doing? Obviously, you like them because you're back for season 4. What did you like about them?
I like the fight. I like the production. And finally, now Karate Athlete has a place where they can turn pro. You know, this is the first professional karate leagues. You know, you have a league for Muay Thai, for kickboxing, for mixed martial art, but now karate fighters can go pro in Karate Combat.
Why do you think that this has never happened before, that karate fighters didn't have a place like this? They always had to go to something else. Why do you think that was? Because karate is very popular, right? Every kid grows up doing karate.
It's true. It's probably one of the most, or maybe the most popular martial art, but there is different styles of karate and they tend to all compete with one another. And what Karate Combat offer, it's a place where all the styles can meet each other. You know? It's a compromise for every style. Kyokushinkai, Kempo, sport karate, more traditional karate. And it's a full contact sport, very exciting, very fast paced. And it's elite striking at its best.
And they use small gloves, but obviously the fingers are exposed, and you could do limited ground and pound. But the gloves, I've seen a lot of people, including Bas Rutten, who we'll talk to in a bit, say that these are great, that these could even work for MMA as well. How do you feel about the gloves?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The gloves are great. And when you change the rules, you change the game. So let's not forget that this is not kickboxing. Because you have different gloves, and you don't fight in the ring. So you have a lot more room for movement and angle and movement in and out. So it's really karate at its best.
I remember the last time we spoke about this exactly almost a year ago when you first signed with Karate Combat. I had asked you if they were going to try to get you to compete for them. Over the course of the year, did they try to get you to compete for them?
Well, I gotta admit, if Karate Combat would have existed a few years earlier, I would have certainly compete in the organization, you know, especially coming out from a karate background. 100% I would have done it.
Are they going to try to get you to compete in this upcoming season?
I think I serve better the organization by being a sensei. My serious competition years are behind me.
Okay, fair enough. Now, what does this mean when you
nice try, Ariel.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to try again in a second. Don't worry. But what does this mean?
I know. You don't take no for an answer. I know that.
Absolutely not. When you say sensei, what does that mean?
Sensei is someone that bring the respect, and also is a teacher, not only an instructor, but a teacher. You know what I mean? Like when I say teacher, there's a lot of coach out there, but being a teacher, it's very different. You know, it goes beyond what happened in the dojo, in the gym. You can teach guys about life, how they can modify their lifestyle to integrate certain things into their life to make them perform better. This is what a true teacher is. Being a coach, it's only in the gym, but being a teacher, it's different. So a sensei, for me, it's more as a teacher as well.
You know, you mentioned this about respect and the code and all that stuff. Lately in the sport that you'll always be tied to the most, mixed martial arts, we've seen some crazy things happen just last week with Colby and Jorge and all that. How do you feel about these things when you see this?
Things get out of hand. I think guys, they take it too personal. I mean, for me, even it never mattered what my opponent was saying to me. For me, it's not personal. It's about business. And the more he was trash talking me, in a way, the more I was making money. So I really have to give a big thank you to all the ferocious opponent that I had who were trash talking me, because they build up the fight in a better, interesting way for the audience. So I made more money. It's good for business.
There was never a point where you thought, man, this is crossing a line and I might act, a little bit crazy as a result of this?
Ariel, there's a reason why I never put my family and my real private life public. It's because, and I know if someone wants to get to me, it's easy for me. It comes from one ear and it goes out on the other one, and I don't take it personal. But if you try to get to someone that I love, or someone in my family, now it's going to be a different story. So that's why I always try to hide this part of my life, because I am a public person.
Yeah. So
this part, it's public. It's for the fans. But my private life, for me, it's even more precious to me. It's to compare with my career, my life is a million times better than what I've done in my career. But I keep it secret because it's my private life. It's my diamond. It's my treasure.
How difficult?
And those guys, they don't think that like that.
Right.
A lot of them also they want to use sometimes the fact that their family to build up a better platform to showcase their it's okay too. It's just that for me, I knew coming from a martial art background, because it's not a game that we play. And if you want to get to someone to make him lose his chill, there's a way that you can get to him is to attack someone that he loves. Now, sometimes it's a better way than if you try to attack the person itself. You know what I mean? And I knew that, and I didn't want to give the chance to my opponent to use that against me.
Wow, that is fascinating. I've never heard you say that.
Oh yeah. The art of war, my friend.
That's
the
right.
art of war. That's my weakness.
So how difficult was it? Because I mean, in Montreal, you are an A-list celebrity. How difficult has it been to keep your loved ones private, your family private, all that stuff?
How I learned this is one time it was called the prime time. Before a fight, they try to promote fight with they call it the prime time.
Yeah.
They come to your house to film, and they came to my parents' house in Saint-Isidore, Quebec, to film me. Man, when the prime time came up, until to this day, I got people sometimes trying to reach out to me, going to my parents' house to Saint-Isidore, knocking at the door, say, "Hey, can we talk to George?" My parents are very good people. They kind of. I shouldn't maybe say that, but they kind of a little bit naive sometimes, because they're from countryside. They don't know sometimes how bad people can be, like stalkers and stuff. Like some people are kind of obsessed. They don't know this. So they're like, "Oh, no, George is not there. Unfortunately, moved out of the house years ago, but You know, but I told them, I said, you should not open the door to these people sometime. You know, it's like, you don't know who's coming. You know what I mean? It's dangerous. So my life, it's public, but please don't get to my family.
Sure. So after that experience, you said, I'm going to put a wall up, right?
Exactly. After that, I was like, this is crazy. Like, I'm not, because it's very easy to find my family in the phone book. I'm from a countryside. You know, I'm from a very small town. You check St-Pierre, there's a few names, then you narrows that down, you'll get it. You know what I mean? And it's a very small community. So, and there's people that were coming even from US to get to me. They came out to my parents. Yeah, sometimes it's scary. Like I had some crazy experience. There even at one point, there was a girl that came from very far. She want to go out with me. You know, she knocked at my parents' house. She say, "Hey, where's George? You know, I think we're made for one another and stuff." God. I was like, "Oh my God, it's insane." You know, some people sometimes they have a mental illness problem. Right. You know what I mean? So I do this to try to protect my family.
Over the last few years, George, you have been one of the loudest people talking about the fighters and better situation for the fighters, fighter pay, things like that. This is now a hot topic in the sport. Are you following this stuff that's going on now with regards to fighter pay, and do you think that there is any changes coming?
Well, I think it will be a time that fighter will be having better conditions in the sport, including their paid and their maybe life assurance and stuff like that. It's like anything else. It was the same thing in ice hockey, baseball, football, basketball. Before the union came, it was a mess. And the same thing, mixed martial art is relatively kind of a new sport. And I think it's only a question of time.
What about Francis Ngannou, your friend from CAA? You guys know each other. How do you feel about his situation?
And I'm so proud for him. I'm very happy, you know. He works so hard. If you read his bio, man, the guy crossed the ocean with a boat, and nobody could swim. The guy could have died. So for him, the significance of fighting must have a different significance. It must be different for him, you know, coming from that background, you know. He's got an incredible story, and he made it. I'm so glad that he made it, and now he deserved it 100%. And you know, he even fought his last fight. I heard he fought with a knee injury. That's crazy. He took an enormous risk, you know, and now it has to pay off. Now things need to pay him. Life need to pay him back. You know, he worked too hard for this. He deserves it more than anybody.
What do you think happens? Do you think that he leaves, or do you think that he stays?
I'm telling him as a friend, like, you need to get paid to his value, you know. And if he's not satisfied with what the UFC gives him, go seek, go get your service somewhere else where they're gonna pay you well. You know what I mean? Because you know, he's not young. You know, he's coming to a point that he's a heavyweight, but heavyweight, you never know what can happen. You know, one punch can change the fight. You know, it's very rare that you see an heavyweight staying champion for a long time because of that reason. So he need to get paid. He need to go somewhere where he's going to be paid to what he's worth. You know what I mean? And if the UFC are not ready to do this, now he has the power on his side. He can negotiate now. Now he because of his contract now. I believe now he's in a very good position right now.
Does he ask for your advice?
No, he didn't really ask for my advice personally, but I mean, I'm only one phone call away. I know he can reach out to me anytime. I know he's undergoing rehabilitation for his ACL now. I've done it 2 times, so I know what is the best way to do it. But I'm only one phone call away. If he needs my help, I will be happy to do it for him.
When you see like Tyson Fury, $32 million for his next fight, and Francis made $650,000, how do you feel about that when you hear that?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. For Francis, I think he deserved it. He deserved that kind of money, millions of dollars. But deep down inside, because he's such an incredible talent in MMA, I'm afraid that if he goes to boxing, against Tyson Fury, yes, he's going to make one shot with a lot of money, but it's not, he's a specialist of mixed martial art. Tyson Fury has boxed all his life. So the odds will go towards Tyson Fury in a boxing match. Of course, in an MMA fight, they will never fight in MMA because Francis will crush him in under 30 seconds. But I'm just afraid that if he step into boxing, maybe he's going to get, the punch and stuff. Sometimes he can change. He can break a career. You know what I mean? So if I would be him, I would tend to fight in MMA as long as I am not tired of doing it. And when he's at the end of his career, if you want to do a boxing fight, why not? But it's up to him. You know what I mean? Like, he can do whatever he wants. And even if you look at Francis Ngannou, through all his life, the odds were always against him, and he always made it. So maybe he's gonna knock out Tyson Fury, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe, who knows? I wish him the best. Of
course. At the end of each year, George, I do an award show, and one of my awards is my feel-good moment of the year, the moment that made me feel the best. Last year, you won that award, and I think initially you will say, like, wow, I didn't really fight. What did I do? Do you know what was my feel-good moment of 2021?
I can't remember. What was it?
It was a beautiful moment. I get chills just thinking about it. Right before Nick Diaz was going to go out, they showed you guys in the locker room. And that moment, 2 seconds of you guys shaking hands and you giving him the wink, it made me feel so good inside. Could you tell me what it meant to you, that moment?
Well, when it happened, he was walking towards me. And with Nick Diaz, you never know. So I was like, I took a stance in a way that I didn't know if he wanted to come to fight me or if he wanted to, to talk to me. So, and when I saw him physically reach out to me with his hand, I was like, oh, okay. Now I reach out and I shook his hand. So it's peace, I guess. But Nick, I think he's one of these guys, one of the guy that took fighting very personal, you know what I mean? And whatever that I say, I never wanted to hurt him personally. On a personal level, I just said things sometimes to make the fight more interesting,
So there's no animosity between you guys, and I think that showed the world.
I never had any animosity with him or any other of the guys after once I retire. For me, it's only business.
When you see the guys who you were coming up with now retire, do you feel a certain way about that? Because you did it perfectly. No one will ever retire as good as you. You went up, you won the belt, you came off a win, and it was perfect, right? When you see these guys retire, and some of them don't seem to be in the spot that you're in, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Most of fighters don't retire from the sport. They let the sport retire them. And it's very unfortunate because I think there's two components. On the health standpoint, I think health is the most important thing. I think you should make your money, and when it's time to, when you pass your prime, just leave on top of your game. Of course, you'll have the feeling that you might have left some money on the table, like I did. I think I might have left some money on the table, but I know I left on top of my game, and my health is at 100% now. And also on a business side of things, when you left on top of your game, another world opened to you. It opens door for different business, different promotion, acting, different sponsorship. If you leave the sports when you're on the way down, now these doors are closed. So it's not a good idea, guys. Maybe you will feel like you leave money on the table sometime, but in the long term, even not only health-wise, even business-wise, you'll make that money back and even more.
Great advice. And in 2023, we'll see you back, right?
We'll see. You'll see me back in different things, 100%.
That is when the deal is up with the UFC, right? 2023? You're a free man.
I think the deals might be up in a few months or even right now. I got to ask my agent about that.
So 2022, we might see you back.
Well, you're not gonna see me back fighting. My serious days of fighting are over. I maybe you'll see me for to do something different. Like I don't know, could be it's always serious because it's fighting. It's martial art. You don't play fighting. But I don't say never if it would be for like a charity or something like this, like a novelty fight, something like this. But as far as competing to trying to prove that I'm the strongest man in the world, these days are over. I'm done with it.
In other words, George St-Pierre versus Jake Paul this summer is what you're trying to say. No. It has to be something that excites me. Okay.
It has to be something different, and maybe it will never happen. Maybe I have a lot of big project coming up soon. I'm going in England, and I'm going in England for an event this weekend, but I'm going back again in 2 weeks for a movie.
Oh wow! So, which movie?
Yeah, I'm playing. It's a European movie, like a Guy Ritchie sort of movie. I'm playing a hitman, an Italian hitman. So I'm having a lot of fun with this now.
Last question for you. Speaking of movies, what did you think of Will Smith smacking Chris Rock yesterday? Do you see that?
Well, I think it was a very fast slap that he threw. But I think that Chris Tucker has a hell of a chin.
Yeah, Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. Sorry, I think Chris Rock has a hell of a chin. I think I'm more impressed by Chris Rock. I'm more impressed by Chris Rock performance than Will Smith performance. And I wrote to Dana on the Instagram. I said, Dana, you should make a special UFC card with celebrity.
Yeah.
I guarantee that he would make a ton of money with this.
I guarantee as well.
Because the sport now has shifted to a different thing. Now it's more about entertainment. I mean, sometimes you want to see who's the best fighter in the world, but sometimes you want to see what will happen if this guy fight this guy, sort of. You know what I mean? It's entertainment. I think there's room for both.
And we get that also with Karate Combat. You're back for season 4, season sensei. George, always an honor. Like I said, whenever the greatest of all time is on the show, it feels a little extra special. We get dressed up, we get ready, we cut the hair, we get all prepared. You're the man, George. Much love to you, and congrats on this deal with Karate Combat.
Thank you, Ariel.
Talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
All right, there he is, the man, George St-Pierre, back for season 4 of Karate Combat, a seasoned sensei. What a legend, what a guy. How could you not love GSP? And great stuff there regarding his family, regarding keeping things private so that you don't give people the opportunity, the chance to use your private life as a target, as fuel, as ammo in the war of words. Now, obviously with Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington, a different one because they knew each other. They lived with each other, best friends, training partners, roommates, all that stuff. But definitely very interesting advice. Also interesting advice regarding knowing when to say when, not letting the game retire you, you technically beating the game, if you know what I'm saying. And very few have done that. Very few have gotten out on top in the history of fighting, not just MMA, but in the history of, combat. So really great stuff as always. So that's our first guest joining us from that spot where they're doing a bunch of stuff for the upcoming season of Karate Combat. Now let's talk to another, and this is somewhat breaking news. We know this man very well, UFC title contender 2 times, still very much in the mix. In fact, recently re-signed with the UFC. Everyone's friend, mine and yours, the NMF, the one and only Stephen Wonderboy Thompson joining us now. There he is from the same spot.
What's up? Oh, my guy. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Stephen. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, my goodness. Anytime. You know I love chatting with you.
Thank you.
We've been through like tornadoes together. Come on.
We have been. I mean, you have literally put your life on the line for us. Luckily, all is good over there where you're at. So now you're a part of the Karate Combat team as well. Tell us, what are you doing with them?
Yeah, so I'm kind of like following GSP's footsteps right now. I'm a sensei. So I'm one of the senseis to kind of give the fans the breakdown of what's going on during the fights. I'm a 6'3" black belt in Kempo Karate. I've been doing it my whole life. So I'm kind of the guy that talks everybody through with the fans, what techniques are thrown, and also give them little tips and hints to some of the fighters as well.
So GSP did that last season. He's doing it again this season. Is this your first time? I believe this is your first time doing anything for Karate Combat, correct?
I'm the new guy.
Yes.
I'm the new guy in karate combat at this point. So right now I'm like looking at GSP, of course, Bas Rutten as well. These guys are the veterans for karate combat. So yeah, man, I'm the new guy.
Back in the day when you were coming up, if karate combat was around, given your background, as you just mentioned, do you think you would have looked at something like this?
100%, man. I mean, there was nothing for karate guys back in the day. I mean, there still wasn't until now. You know, you spend a lifetime doing the martial arts. I mean, you would do karate tournaments, but not a real way to make a living off of it, right? So, you know, I'm obviously under contract with the UFC, and I'm happy there. But if this came along a lot earlier, I would definitely be doing karate combat for sure.
How does that work, by the way? Do you have to get, even though you're not competing for them, do you have to get clearance or permission to be a part of this from the UFC?
No, I think it's because it's so different, right? They're not trying to follow in MMA footsteps. There's no ground, there's no wrestling. There are takedowns. It's all stand up pretty much. So I you know, obviously my management, Karate Combat, UFC, they've worked it out to where I can do this. Yes, sir.
You would know better than anyone. You know, almost every kid in America does some form of martial arts. More often than not, it's karate, right? I mean, there was a time where there was a dojo like every single strip mall in America. Why does that not, or has not in the past, translated into other people trying this? Like in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s, so many young kids are doing it, yet it always kind of stops at some point and it doesn't become a profession. Why has that happened?
Yeah, because I think there were so many different styles of karate and so many different organizations. Nobody really decided to kind of bring it all to one competition. You have Kyokushin, you have Shotokan, you have Kumite, you have point fighting, the Walko rules. There were so many different ways to kind of compete, not at a professional level. You kind of had to roll over to either kickboxing, which is what I did. You know, as I was growing up, I kind of rolled over to kickboxing because that's what my dad did. So that's why I still train karate, which is why I still have that karate style. You know what I'm saying? So It's great to have somebody like Karate Combat be able to bring all the styles to one organization and compete.
I love the videos when you're like attacking the kids with the Nerf guns and all that stuff. Did you?
Man, we partied down.
I love it. Did you? I saw a video though where it looks like you're doing like some sort of video shoot and you tagged Nerf. Do you have some kind of deal with Nerf now because of this?
No, so I have done some work with Nerf in the past. You know, they sponsored one of our videos. We actually went up to New York, me and my buddy Matt and my brother, and we did a Nerf competition, and we all fought. You know, actually did a bunch of Nerf competition. You're talking about like professional YouTube Nerfers, right? I'm coming off the street in May into this Nerf. I got crushed. We had different obstacles and stuff that we had to go through to win this golden Nerf blaster. And but I was in the commercial. I was in one of their Nerf commercials, which is pretty cool.
Wow!
So it was just times, yeah.
That is amazing.
So anytime I have a chance to tag Nerf in it, man, I do it.
Did that come as a result of your videos with the kids?
Yeah, my management team also, but I met Nerf. I was at a convention in California. I think it was E3.
Okay.
Which is kind of like a gaming convention, right? And Nerf was there, so I got to shake hands with some of the higher ups in Nerf, and it kind of, you know, snowballed from there.
So now the last time obviously we saw you in action was December. Haven't talked to you since. Could I ask, in your mind, what went wrong against Belal?
Well, number one, after the Gilbert Burns fight, now everybody kind of has this blueprint on how they think they can beat me, right? Just take me down and hold me there. You know, with the Gilbert Burns fights, it was actually more of a fight than the Belal, I believe. You know, there were some standing exchanges, but you know, the older you get, the harder it is, either for the weight cut or the rehydration. In my last fight, obviously there's some things I got to work on, but I was kind of exhausted going in there. Legs were tired. I was fatigued, not lung wise, but muscle wise. And Belal took complete advantage of it for sure. I don't know if you noticed, I was definitely not on my movement. My movement wasn't there. I wasn't able to do that. My reactions weren't there. And sometimes that happens. That's the game. You know, you got your good days and you got your bad days. You got to be able to handle both. But yeah, man, I'm back at the gym right now working on, just kind of going back to the drawing board and working on everything. My striking, obviously getting better at that, but mostly my wrestling and my jiu-jitsu, because that's where everybody's going to want to take the fight. And knowing that, looking back at those last two fights, earlier in my career, my UFC career, I fought a guy named Nishan Burrell, and I pretty much out-wrestled him, you know? And when I got back to the back, somebody from the UFC, I don't remember who it was, UFC came to me and said, look, Stephen, you know, great win, but it wasn't your wrestling that got you here. So I kind of was trying to read in between the lines. Okay, I got you. You want me to just try to stand there and knock these guys out, but it worked up to a certain point. You're getting with the best of the best guys in the world, the top 5. I got to have more than just my striking. So be more threatening in those grappling situations. You know, I don't know if you noticed when I fought Bilal, he ended up going in for a takedown and I ended up slapping the guillotine. He backed up real quick, but I was too exhausted to finish. So going back to that and being more threatening in those situations, I'm going to have to be at this point.
A fight like that where it doesn't feel like you can ever really like get any momentum. How frustrating is that when you get to the back and you're like, I you know, months into a training camp, this fight, and it doesn't feel like you ever got out of neutral.
Yeah, man, it is very frustrating. Not just for me, but for everybody that helped me prepare. You know what I'm saying? Because I know we worked on everything. We knew what this guy was going to do, but it didn't work out that way. So yeah, man, it was frustrating. I mean, the only thing I can take away from it, I didn't take much punishment. Right. You know, they're much taking me down, holding me there, so I wasn't hurting at all. It was my first 2 fights that I've been in a while where I walked away without a scab on me. You know, I wasn't hurt at all. You know, the Vicente Luque fight, the Nishan, or the Jeff Neal fight, you know, those were some wars right there. I definitely felt those, but the last 2 just didn't really feel like a fight.
So the hand's okay, the knee's okay, everything's okay.
Everything's great, man. Everything's great. So that's why I'm kind of, you know, super excited to be here with Karate Combat and kind of see what these guys are about. And I've been watching these guys for a long time, which, you know, everybody loves a striking game. Everybody wants to see knockouts. And this is definitely a company that organization that makes that happen.
Have you tried on their gloves yet?
I have, actually.
What do you think of them?
Awesome.
I think they're cool.
I actually like them. And not the fact that, you know, it's safe for me to wear. You know, there's enough padding to where you're not breaking your hands. Right. You know what I'm saying? But enough to still do damage to your opponent. So I think I love the way that they're curved, right? So you're not to kind of like stick your fingers out there to kind of curve to make a fist. There is no thumb, which I like. You know, kind of like with the UFC gloves, but with these gloves, the padding are just perfect. They're perfect. You're not injuring yourselves when you go out there and punch somebody in the noggin. I broke both my hands during Vicente Luque. Never done that before. Wow. Never broke my head. Never didn't have any hand injuries up until that point. So that's what I like about the gloves.
There's obviously more padding than an MMA glove, but I actually feel like that style would be better for MMA, if only because, you know, all the eye pokes and stuff, you know, if your hands are curved, it's a little tougher, right?
I agree 100%. It's a little harder to kind of get those fingers out there. If it forces your hands like so, you're going to make a fist. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen. So I think it's less apt for you to poke somebody in the eye with those kind of gloves for sure.
Do you know when we'll see you compete again?
Hopefully soon. I mean, after my last fight, I had a collarbone issue, ended up tearing the cartilage in my collarbone. So, which is an old injury. I ended up injuring it during my Matt Brown fight. So that's how long ago that goes. So healed up from it. I'm feeling good. Back in training camp with Chris Weidman. I don't know if you've seen the tube channel. We've been training together. Yeah. The guy's a monster. He's coming back strong and he's feeling good. So hopefully we can come back on the same card. That would be dope.
Do you have an opponent in mind? You're not the call-out type.
God, you know, I'm ranked one higher than Masvidal. And, you know, he's a striker, UFC. Give me somebody that wants to stand there and strike, please. Masvidal would be awesome. The NMF versus, I know we've been talking about this.
Yes, for a long time.
Versus BMF. I know Robbie Lawler was thrown out there as well. Even though he's not ranked, he's still an exciting opponent. Some guy I've been trying to fight since he was champ. So there are some guys there.
What do you think of Masvidal's performance against Colby?
You know what? He kept us cool. I've been there. You know, I just wanted to give him a big hug. Like, dude, I've been there, bro. I've been the guy that's just constantly taking you down. And he's the guy that just wants to bang. He give him somebody that wants to fight, and that will be a fight of the night fight for sure. So he wasn't able to pull it off. And then you got the fight on the street after the fight.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which I thought was like, come on, guys. Come on, man. We get paid for this. Let's go. You ain't got to be doing that in the street.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man.
We saw Matt Brown, your old foe, this past weekend. Great fight. He mentioned something on Twitter afterwards, which for me, I've been talking a lot on this program about open scoring. I feel like open scoring would be tremendous for MMA. There's only really one commission that does it, the Kansas Commission. How do you feel about open scoring?
I think it would be pretty cool. I mean, just kind of know where you're at in between each round, after each round. You know, I think that would ask for more exciting fights. You know, if I'm down and I see that, it's like, that lights a fire in you, right?
Right.
And I remember when I fought Ellenberger, when he knocked me down that first round, I didn't need no cards really to kind of tell me. But with that mental aspect of knowing that, dude, I'm losing this fight right now, it kicked up a fire in me, and I ended up finishing him in the first round. But if it wasn't for that knockdown, you know what I mean? I don't know what would have happened, but it lit a fire in me. To be able to see that after each round would be awesome.
Yes. I feel
it keeps everybody true, right?
Yeah.
It keeps everybody true. So I think that would be great.
Imagine you had open scoring when you fought Woodley. Things might be different, right?
You know it. You know it. I mean, I think so. I mean, I still felt like I won that fight.
Which one? Which one? First or second?
The first one.
First one.
I mean, you know, the first one was awesome. I mean, he did knock me down, but even the second one was super close. Then I thought I won that one too. But you can't look back. You got to keep moving forward.
Does that eat you up inside?
Not really. No. It really doesn't. I mean, what happens. You can't go back and change it. You know what I mean? So all you got to do is go back to the drawing board, keep training hard, and keep moving forward. I've always been that way.
Right.
I've always been that way. I've always been the positive, upbeat guy, and it kind of pisses some of my friends off that I'm not. I don't take things as seriously as I should, but that's just the way I am.
I wish I was like you. I take everything too seriously. I wish I could take just like 10% of that energy and bring it in me. And it's nice to see that you and Tyron are buds now, right? Like there's no animosity there. That was always the weirdest one to me. Like I just couldn't understand how anyone could hate you or be mad at you or say those things about you. Like it was like, you're the nicest guy on the planet. How's this possible? But now you're good.
I think, we were on his Instagram live. He apologized to me. We became buds. We were on, I think the set of Cobra Kai. Right. And he was a part of all that, and we got to hang out. And he gave me some pretty cool, advice on fighting and who to get in touch with guys that would help you out. And he said he'd be willing to come and help me out with anything that I needed. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I love it. I love that you're a part of this. Seems like a natural. Wonderboy Thompson, a part of Karate Combat, getting to hang out with GSP all day. You've met GSP before, right? You know him. Oh yeah, we trained together. I mean, he's pretty much he's my guy. He was my inspiration. GSP was. He was in the corner of my very first UFC fight, 143. Was he really?
He was in my corner. He was.
Wow.
If you go back and watch, when I get out, he was there in my corner and gave him a big hug. He didn't last but a round, but still, he was
Dan Stigen.
Dan Stigen. That's right. UFC 143.
That's right. I remember it in Las Vegas, right? 143 was Las Vegas. It was Conda Diaz.
Yes. Dude, how do you remember this? What?
I'm crazy. 145 was Evans Jones in Atlanta, your next one.
How are you doing this right now?
Basically, and I'm not looking at anything, basically between like 65 and like 210, 215. I could name anyone right now. Throw out a number. Go ahead.
Okay. UFC 144.
UFC, well, that was the one right before. Sometimes I have to do the thing. Okay, so 143 was in February. UFC 145 was in April. Man, am I getting old now? UFC.
You're like a savant, bro. How do you even know this?
Yeah, well, no. I can't even believe that I'm stumbling on this right now. It's going to kill me.
Got you. Is
this the first time? Wait. Give me a second here. 143. This is going to kill me now. 143 was Conda Diaz. March of 2012. I'm crumbling under the pressure here. This is a historic moment.
I'm waiting.
Wait. March of 2012.
Do you know, boss?
Do you know it?
No, I have no idea.
I can't believe I'm crumbling under this. I'm about to turn 40, Stephen, and this is the first time in the history of my career that I've been stumped. I can't believe I'm being stumped right now. 144. Jones Evans was 45. March. Wow. Everyone's like,
Come on, man. Everybody's watching.
Everyone's watching. Wow, this is history. I'm sweating like crazy right now, Stephen. You're banned from my show. You were at,
I can see the pee coming down the forehead.
I remember. No, 143. Oh, you know why it screwed me up? Because there was 2 in February that year.
Oh,
there was 2 in February that year. February of 2000. I remember February of 2012 was in Saitama. Frankie Edgar versus Benson Henderson.
I remember that. What?
Rampage Jackson against Ryan Bader. Akiyama was on the card.
Cerebellum.
Were you at that one?
No, I was not there.
No.
I watched that from home.
God, I'm sweating so much.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Just kind of keep you on your toes.
Right.
You're good, man. I'm proud of you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Stephen.
You brought that back. If it was me, I would have crumbled under the pressure immediately.
Right. I'm a little bit shook right now because that's never happened to me before. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. God bless. Congratulations on the karate.
Give this guy a back massage real quick.
Yes,
please.
thank you. Congrats on this deal and looking forward to seeing you back.
Thank you, guys. Karate Combat, guys. Check it out. Let's go. See you, buddy.
There he is, Stephen Thompson. Wow. Had me shook there for a second. Am I right about that? It was I wanted to check so bad. UFC. God dang. Am I right about that? Yes, I was right about that. Oh, yeah. Whew. What did I say? Conde Diaz 143? Yeah. I was right. Oh my God. That was the 143 Conde Diaz, 144 Saitama, 145 Jones, 146 was the heavyweight card, 147 was in Brazil, 148 was International Fight Week, 149 was Calgary, 150 was Denver, 151 was the canceled one. Okay, we're good. We're back. Whew. No one could have talked to my ear and helped me out on that one?
No,
Frank,
sir. No, that was,
where
that
were
was
you?
all you? No better than to interrupt you.
Oh, I see. GC wrote it. I don't get notifications. I did not see it. I didn't.
Right as I sent it, your eyes go down to the laptop. You saw that.
I don't get notifications.
Okay, eyes go to the laptop.
Wow.
Right as I sent it, and then,
yeah,
it was Edgar Henderson, wasn't it?
You know what I wanted to look at? Oh my! You don't believe me right now? Wow, this hurts. Okay, I wanted to look at the.
Saying,
I wanted to look at the. I wanted to look at the YouTube chat, and I was like, "Damn, the YouTube chat's not open."
We'll give you credit for getting the arena correct.
Let's go to our next guest, legend of the game, El Guapo, also a part of the Karate Combat team. Always a pleasure when you get to talk to one of the greats, the all-time greats, one of the all-time legends. Without further ado, let's not keep him waiting anymore. There he is, Bas Rutten. Bas, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. We're still amazed here, Ariel. It's crazy. You might miss it, but it came right back, and all these numbers you mentioned right after another. And where it was, and 2 in February. And
yes. It is crazy. It is. I'm getting old though, boss. I mean, these things. I can't say like a fighter that I've gotten punched in the head. I forget these things. It's just it's a fact of life, right? We get old. I mean, you're a grandfather now. For God's sakes, you look better than I'll ever look in my life.
Yeah, right. I got a light straight in my face. That's wearing some makeup. I got to be honest.
You look fantastic. So you're also a part of the Karate Combat team. You're not a sensei, if I have this correct. You're the analyst for it, right? Like you're a TV analyst for them, correct?
Yeah, like an analyst and the ambassador, bringing karate forward of the foreground. Just telling the good people at home what karate is all about.
What do you think about these fights? A little different than MMA, but there are some similarities with a little ground and pound, with the striking, with the gloves. How do you feel about what they've been doing in the first 3 seasons?
I think it's great. The first show I had was in Miami all the way back. The wall, the way they start using the wall right now to escape if somebody gets pushed in the corner, they just run out of the wall. We have seen kicks already jumping off the wall, like Superman punches. So I think they built a same kind of wall in their dojo so they can practice on it. And that's what you see now. And what I also love is the evolution. So in the beginning, we saw karatekas hitting one punch and then stop. It's almost like Darwin Spong when he was fighting for the World Series of Fighting. He knocked his opponent down and he walked back to his corner.
That's
and everybody goes, no, go back. No, because they're so used to it. And here also they stop, but then the other guy just kept coming with combinations. You go, okay, so everybody start kickboxing on the side as well and boxing, to tie everything together.
I saw you posted a video, or actually it might have been Adam Kovacs, the president, who posted a video of you talking about the gloves. That's where I kind of first learned about the gloves, and you're glowing about them. You're very high on the gloves. Why is that?
Also, and even for MMA, we're talking about your hands are never really short, so that's really good. If they made the padding a little thinner, what you have with MMA gloves, you have also padding on the side. Now, we all know that I have freaky long fingers. I can go around the wrist, so that means my grip is pretty good always. If your wrist is half open, you see it's easier to escape out of a hold. Now, with the MMA gloves, you have so much leather in between, you just have a shorter grip. It shortens down your grip. So I think with the open hands, you just have these little things here. That makes it much better for grappling as well. You have to make them a little thinner then, of course, because otherwise it's going to be hard to slide underneath the jaw, for instance, for heel hooks or for rear naked chokes.
Yeah. Did you like the Pride gloves better than the ones that we see now in the UFC?
No, I liked them both. I thought the Pride ones were a little big, I always thought. And I think that UFC gloves don't have that. Trevor Whitman, he came up with a really freaking good glove. I hope they're going to take that direction because that glove looks really well.
You'd like to see a more curved glove?
Yeah. Listen, we talk about this in Pancras, right? We fought with our open hands. Now, I mean, you can go over the thousands of matches we had. How many people get poked in the eye? Nobody. And we fight with open hands. Yeah. So how that's even possible? You see, so I don't know. It's a mindset also in the training. They push people a lot of times away. That's just stuff you shouldn't do because you get poked in the eye. If you're John Jones, when you saw that, you go like, yeah, I understand there's a distance measure. But still, you're in control, and you should watch out for that kind of stuff. Because coming off a win like that, and even if you poke an eye and the fight continues, you never really know if his vision is completely back. Because fighters, fighters, if they can't see half, they go, "No, I'm good." They don't want to quit. They lie, and then they continue to fight.
I'm happy we're talking to you today, Bas, because over the last few weeks on this show, I've been banging the drum about a few things. The first one I wanted to throw your way was this one, and you are the perfect guy to ask about this. I feel like MMA does a really poor job as a sport. I'm not, pointing the finger at one particular entity, if you will, but it's obvious, who the top dog is. We don't do a good enough job of honoring the past, of remembering people like you, of celebrating the legends, the pioneers, the founding fathers, the people that made this sport what it is today. For example, the UFC's anniversary is coming up next year. So next year will be 2023. It'll be 30-year anniversary of the UFC. I had the idea, like the NBA just did, where they brought out the 75 greatest players for their 75th anniversary. Bring out the 30 greatest fighters. Have people vote on it. Bring them out. Do something like that. They'll never do it. It's unfortunate. Yep. How do you feel about this? As one of those people that I'm talking about, like without you, there is no UFC that it is today. You're one of those guys. How do you feel about this?
Of course, it's for your own, it's always very nice, but it's very understandable, right? That's how it goes. It's with fighters also. You lose your last 2 or 3 fights and suddenly you're not a great fighter anymore. That's people nowadays. And we all get wired because these stupid phones, short-term expansion, you don't, everything is getting shortened. So memories are getting shortened. And unfortunately for the old guys like us, it's getting shortened, But I always enjoy to talk to a guy like Bill Wallace and Benny the Jet and all these guys that really started the striking, for instance. And of course, Royce Gracie and all these guys that we started in 93. I mean, I was talking about Pancras. Pancras started 2 months before the UFC, all the way back in Japan. I remember Ken Shamrock talking about the UFC and how excited he was. And you don't want to do this, he said. I said, no referee? Nobody's going to step in? I go, no, thank you. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, because there's crazy people. If I get knocked out and this guy decides to jump on top of me and hit me 5-6 more times in the face, that could be brain damage. I say, if there's a referee who pulls him off, hey, sign me up. But, I'm not that kind of guy I always talk about that who wants to die in the cage, Not me. I have a family, very happy life. Thank you. I like to live.
Did they ask you to be a part of UFC 1?
No, I didn't even hear about it. I didn't even know that Girard was doing it, Gordeau, and I know Girard. Yeah. So and then also when I saw that with the teeth flying into the audience next to I go like, okay, this is next level stuff. Ken Shamrock told a funny story about that because they were sitting in backstage and they still thought this was going to be a work. So at any moment now somebody would walk in and was going to say, okay, you're going to win, you're going to lose, you're going to win. That's what they still thought. There was this. They didn't know. It was too crazy. And then when Girard Gordeau kicked the guy's teeth out, everybody in the dressing room went like, oh, it's real. Yes. That's when they realized this is a whole different level stuff. Yeah. I can imagine the adrenaline from everybody in the dressing room.
When you were competing, especially overseas, did anyone ever ask you to work a fight and you said no?
No, never. And you know what? I asked everybody. The only one I heard from who said it was Ken. talked about that. But you ask any other fighter, and I asked all the fighters because once those rumors started, of course, I wanted to know. And I remember Chris Dolman in Holland, he said to me, there's going to come a time when they're probably going to ask you to lose. I said, Chris, then I'm going to stop. I said, why? I said, because I see these other guys who work for other organizations and they come back and they go, I won. And then when they lose, they come back, I lost, but I had to lose. Yeah, but last time you had to win as well. I didn't ever want to be that guy. So then I remember that after my second fight, I got invited by, maybe it was even after the Funaki fight, my third fight, and I lost actually. And then Funaki Suzuki hired me and I go, okay, here we go. Asked me to come to have dinner. And the whole dinner went well, and I was waiting for that question. Nobody said anything. And I remember stepping back into the cab, and then I wanted to drive away. They were standing there to wave goodbye. And I said, I told the cab driver, stop. One moment. I turned the window down. I said, come over here. I say, I thought you were going to ask me to lose. And he goes, I would never ask you that. That will never happen. I go, okay, thank you very much.
Wow.
That was it.
Wow, that is amazing. Let's say, there's a lot of new fans now, right? There's a lot of people who came into the sport, combat sports, whatever, that maybe haven't seen your fights. If someone wanted to see Bas Rutten's favorite fight from back, like your personal favorite of yourself that you were involved in, what would you recommend to them?
For both fights, they say is the best fight. It was Funaki, my rematch against Funaki. That was a slaughter. I mean, he came to me before the fight, really weird, got me out of character because he slit his throat right in front of me in the ring. And I got so aggressive. And I look at my manager. I go, you got to stay calm. I said, don't worry, I'll be calm. I said, boy, watch. If I have a moment and I'll hit him, I'm going to destroy this guy. And it happened, broke both cheekbones. His nose was broke. I mean, I had bruises on my hands and on my knees for kneeing him in the face. And every time I kneed him, he went down. He would get back up. And the whole audience started chanting for him. It was crazy, And I was starting to get tired because I threw everything I had. And then thankfully, the last knee, I remember grabbing him by the hair and then kneed him as hard as I could in the face. And that's when he stayed down. But that was a tough fight. I remember they raised my hands. And as soon as they said I was the winner, I fell back. I was so tired in that fight. But he showed the heart of a lion by standing up constantly. I mean, not like 4 times.
You ever go back and watch those fights? Like, when's the last time you watched any of those?
The last time I watched was a new highlight somebody made. They talked about my career, and I think he did a pretty good job. And that was, but just so highlights,
okay.
And also what I'm doing now, I have that long training device that I invented for breathing, for your breathing muscles. And then also I use that fight. I said, because you see me breathing like this is completely wrong. Like that breathing is completely gone. Like you can literally get 5 times the amount of air in with 4 to 6 of these breaths are the same as one belly breath. So once you learn how to breathe correctly, I mean, your stamina just increases dramatically. So because of all those things that I did in fighting, like I used to do these weird things. I would do abs and then I would put my friend put my back against me. He would hook the arms and he would lean over. So I would stretch out. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew it would feel good and make me better to breathe. Now I understand why that is, because the more you can expand, the more you can fill up your lungs with air, right? And if you're very tight here, well, then you can't expand maximally. That means you can't fill up your lungs maximally. So I was stretching those muscles out. So somehow I got the right thing. I just didn't know what really was going on. And in fighting, like the Bas Rutten neck break, that was literally me stopping him from expanding his chest. Now, if you can't expand your chest, you can't breathe. Your lungs are just 2 bags. There's no muscle in the lung. You see, so all these things now that I picked from fighting, I show actually when I'm talking about breathing. And I say, here I stopped his chest from expanding. Here I did this. Here I did that. So that's kind of cool stuff. My second fight, when I timed, I was that tired that he just got me in an armbar. I got out of it. And I was throwing up before the fight. I wanted to stop. And I remember I didn't have a lot of energy. And I was standing in a guillotine position. I had him lean over and I pulled his arm to the side and I was looking at him breathing and I saw him breathing in. And on the third time he breathed in, I gave him the knee because then you can't flex your abs.
Wow.
And he went down like I shot him with a shotgun. But you see, now I didn't know that. And that's all to do with breathing. So all these examples I can actually use to sell my product.
Wow. Why were you throwing up before that fight?
They let me travel. First of all, I come from Holland to go to America, to Japan. The jet lag is completely different from going America to Japan. So that means nighttime is daytime for you. That means all night, that 7 o'clock in the morning is 11 o'clock at night for you. That's where you normally go to sleep. So you lay in bed all day long, and then they let me travel. And it wasn't. They had to do it on purpose. I I don't believe it if it's not. They let me travel 8 hours on the day of the fight. So 8 o'clock I wake up, slept maybe 1 hour. I had to carry all my luggage. We went to one of the Shinkansen, the bullet train, and we had to go to a different place. And it was a freaking nightmare. And then they said I couldn't go to my hotel room. That's where I put my foot down. I said, okay, I'm going to go to the hotel room. Otherwise, I'm not going to fight. I need to shower, and then I will come to the event. Also, at least they allowed me to do that. But my manager was carrying my bags. I mean, I was already throwing up. I was so sick. It was just the whole and everything together.
So they didn't ask you to work a fight, but they stacked the deck against you.
But that was one time. I'm a very fast learner. That happens one time, and then it's from that moment I said, if that one more time happens, I'm not going to fight. So now you put me in a hotel very close to the fight. Otherwise, I'm not going to fight. That was my next. Every time when something happens like that, I immediately make sure that will never happen again.
You also obviously grew, in popularity, notoriety with the videos that they recreated with Karate Combat, you and GSP, the barroom ones and whatnot. And I was thinking of you recently, Bas, because of this Commander Brown in Detroit, Michigan. You see this guy, the guy who teaches people about the guns and he turns the guns and all that stuff. You know this guy? Have you seen these videos?
The not real guy, that one, right? With the black hair and the
yes.
guy?
Well,
yeah,
yes.
Very funny.
What do you think of this guy? Because he says it's real.
You see, this is guys like that get people killed because they give them a false sense of security. Like, that's why I don't teach self-defense in my classes. Because I always give this example. Imagine I teach somebody a knife defense. Knives are really dangerous to defend, almost worse than a gun. A gun, if you're close by, you grab the barrel and then you know what to do, how to go with it and all that stuff. It's actually easier to defend than a knife that can cut on both sides, a switchblade. Because they can stab, they can come from above, they can come from all angles. So imagine I just teach a knife defense, and then a friend of the person that I taught it to is getting in trouble. Somebody pulls a knife and he goes like, hey, step back. I got it. I just thought that they just taught me this in class. And then he's going to get stabbed to death. You see, that's a problem. And that's the same with the gun defense. When the guy's sitting behind and then grabbing the gun, it's the dumbest. If there's no space behind you, you can never go for the gun. But the only thing they have to do is pull it out, and now they're going to shoot you in your head. If somebody stands in front of me and there's like a table in between, I'm not going to grab the gun, because if I have the gun, the only thing he needs to do is pull back. And there's a table, I cannot now. If there's no table, I can go with him. So as soon as he pulls, I just simply go with him. I keep the grip and I make sure that the barrel doesn't aim at me or somebody I love who's standing next by. But then at least if he pulls out, I simply go with him. I'm not going to hold still so he can pull out. I just go with him. You see, that all these little things you have to know. And it's like fighting. It looks real easy. And in dojo, you're really good and everything works. But that's without stress. How many fighters do we have that are dojo fighters? We talk about this. Every fighter here I talk about this. They work circles around world champions. And then under pressure, they can perform. They can bring out what they can do without any pressure. And that is just fighting. Now imagine a weapon presents itself. I mean, even I going to go like shit. There's going to be a lot of nervousness, and you better make everything perfect. But with self-defense, one of these things is, if there's a situation where you 100% are going to go, and I'm talking about this, if somebody is a mask and he shoots somebody and then he's asking you for your money, I give you my money, I'm not going to do anything. If the guy's not wearing a mask and he just shot somebody, now I'm the person who can point him out in court. Chances he's going to shoot me are freaking astronomically high. So now I'm going to have to do something. Yeah, but you're going to get shot. Well, not doing anything, you're going to get shot for sure. But by just trying to do something, and especially if you know what to do, you increase your chances immediately. So it's good to do, but you're going to have to do this 4 days a week. You're going to have to really work and grind it in, and you need a good teacher who knows exactly what he's teaching. And that's the problem when you look around with the knife and stick defenses. I mean, sometimes it's amazing how stupid people are, but people are people. They just believe whatever coaching they get. And that's unfortunate. That's very dangerous.
So all this stuff, nonsense that you see from this particular guy, you don't buy any of it.
No, listen, there's some things that he does, but he has no follow-ups. All the things that I said with the gun defense, holding his head at the same position, these are all wrong things to teach.
Okay.
So, he has to really watch out. Then you make those parodies. You see already these guys trying to do what he does, and then it goes wrong, and suddenly they're in heaven, right? These little Instagram clips. Yeah. And that's just really how it is. That's really how it is. People think really fast. They watch a Rocky movie. They think that Rocky is the world champion. And I can do that because that's how easy it is. I heard actors who said, I'm just going to watch movies to learn how to act. I go, oh, that's easy. So if I want to learn judo, I'm just going to watch the world championships, and now I can play judo. I mean, it's stupid to think about, but this is how people are. They learn something, or they see something that's even worse on YouTube, and I can do that, and then you get killed.
By the way, does any fighter out there, do they ever ask you to coach them? Have you gotten these requests lately?
Oh, yeah, I do have it. Sometimes, but the thing with me is also I would love to. GSP was just talking about, I wish that I made that decision to come and train with you as well, because we go over a whole bunch of techniques that we're doing.
Yeah.
And just a complete different approach. And to me, it's, of course, because I'm a little biased. I think it like an open stance, like wide open, square stance open. I think it's the best stance to have. And everybody says, oh, you're going to get the target, that people are going to knock you out to the body. Well, all the fighters I know that fight like that never went down with a body shot. So it's not really saying, but the powers that you get in return, if I stand blading, I don't have power in my jab and on my left arm, my left kicks, everything slows down. If I stand wide, I got a straight punch. This is going to knock you out. A jab, I eat a double jab. I eat it in order to counter it with an overhand right. But if somebody stands square like Mike Tyson and he starts punching with a jab, which becomes a straight punch, now you need to block or defend that punch. So what happens then, as soon as you defend, you build yourself some more time to follow it up with other punches. But just jabbing out and kicking light, it never worked with me. Fighting is very basic, I always say. You hit somebody really freaking hard in the head a couple of times, guess what the head's doing? They're going to go up. And then you attack the body. And that works vice versa as well. So you hit the body really hard, but not like they do body, head, body, head. That's not going to work. They need to respect the body shots. If you go body, and then go for the head, watch it work, because now you force them to block it, and the defense goes, that's the shot. But if you go body, why would they block that stupid punch? Because it doesn't have any power on it anyway. You see, so all these things, once you break it down, which I did in fighting, I truly believe there's nothing you can say about my fighting style that I cannot defend, because I just lived and breathed it all day long. It's still what I do. If I shadow box, I think about footwork. This is the only thing I do constantly. It can never be perfect. It can always be better. That's why I thought.
So why don't you coach anyone now? No time?
That's the thing. If I want to commit, it should be a big fighter so I can make some money, because if once I have to go 2.5 months and I have to do twice a day, that's going to take a lot of time from me. And for $20,000, that for me is simply not going to work, because I have a lot of other business.
Sure. Was the last one that you really committed to, was that Kimbo?
That was Kimbo, yeah. Wow. And even there already, I put my boxing coach from my gym, my partner, I put him there. I said, okay, I'm going to train him in the morning, and you take him in the afternoon, because I was already very busy with Japan. I was traveling back and forth like 12 times a year, especially when the Bushido came, right? It was every month. It was a show. So I needed somebody to work with him. And Sean Tompkins, I had him work with Kimbo first, because I was like 3 weeks in Japan. I said, work with Sean. And then from there, because he does the same what I do,
right?
It's the same coach, the same as going to Dwayne, and then from there on, I will take it over.
What a career. Always great to talk to you, Bas. I feel like you could do this for hours. You could just tell these stories, and I want more people to remember the likes of Bas Rutten and to respect you guys, and that we celebrate you. That you're when's the last time you were at a UFC event in the front row, treated like a legend, like the legend that you are? When's the last time that happened?
It was fight week when I helped inducting Kevin Randleman. I was there, and it was nice.
It was nice, right?
Yeah, no, it was last year.
Oh, September, right?
September, yeah.
And prior to that,
oh, been a while. Those events are very busy for me.
Yeah.
And what you do need as a fighter, as a fighter who's known, at those events you need to sit in the front, and you need to make sure, because once you walk through the normal people, I'm the guy. If somebody makes a picture, of course I'm going to make a picture, and then it's off.
Right.
And it's very hard to go somewhere, because then everybody's coming, of course.
Sure.
And although that's really cool, if you want to see a fight, it's going to be very hard to say no to these people. And guess what? If you say no, or when you're eating in a restaurant and people come asking for pictures and you say no, I'm the bad guy somehow. Right.
Yeah.
While I'm sitting there with my family. So, and I understand it, because that's simply how fans are. I would do it if I would see Bruce Lee, right? I'm very sorry. Actually, no, I would wait outside till he's done eating, and then I would wait for it.
Good advice. Good luck to you and the team at Karate Combat. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Bas. Thank you so much. All the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And by the way, sensei, translated, means he who has gone before. And then for the sensei, it's the duty to whatever he learned to pay that forward.
I love that.
That's Dwayne Ludwig right there.
Thank you. I love that. Thank you for that, Bas. There he is, the legend himself. Learn about these men. Appreciate them. Without them, there is no MMA, and it's great that there is no UFC as well. It's great that Karate Combat is giving them a home and an opportunity. Go to their YouTube channel. I was watching some of their stuff last night. Great clips, great compilations, great highlights. Gives you a real feel for what this organization is all about. And I hope it does give people who are coming up through the sport karate system to have a place where they can make money and not have to transition over to kickboxing or boxing or MMA. And the man who's leading the charge, our final guest of the day, and of course, later in the program, we'll be joined by GC, talk about his bets from this past weekend, talk about Columbus. I don't think we got the 1X lines in the end. Also, we'll have a little round table, if you will, with New York Ric, talk about the slap heard around the world last night. But I did want to talk to the president of Karate Combat, a man who knows a thing or two about karate. His name is Adam Kovacs. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correct. We can ask him straight up right now. He's the man leading the charge, and he's got big plans for their 4th season. And so without further ado, let's say hello to Adam. Adam, how are you, my friend?
Hey, Ariel. It's a pleasure being here, and it's also very, very difficult, coming up after GSP, Wonder Boy and Bas. The energy they bring to the room is, it's like none other.
Yes.
And this is my very first time over here, so I try to match their energy. But thank you very much.
I appreciate that. And am I pronouncing your last name correctly? Is it Kovacs?
I mean, if you go to Hungary, where I was born and where I live, it's you say Kovacs. Kovacs, yeah, but everywhere else, mostly it's Kovacs.
I'm going to say Kovacs. I like to keep it real. Congrats to you and the team on your first 3 seasons. 4th season, you have GSP as a sensei, you have Wonder Boy as a sensei, you have Bas involved, but these guys aren't competing for you. So for someone who may be unfamiliar with Karate Combat, give us the hard sell. Why should an MMA fan watch your product?
Yeah, I mean, very good question, and you're usually pretty good with questions. Look, I mean, I think we're operating in the same space as MMA, boxing, and basically all full contact sports, full contact combat sports, especially when it comes to entertainment. We have big respect for the UFC, what they accomplished. We know that this is a great business. At the same time, we wanted to create something where, as GSP said before, Karatecast doesn't have to go somewhere else. They have their home, and there are thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Karatecast, karate athletes around the world in different styles. And I think it was a question what my partners and I asked, like, if the UFC was so successful, when it was sold, that was the same year when karate got into the Olympics. Nobody ever put all these people together into a professional fighting system, and we will be the first one to do it. And I think the community and everybody within karate really, really welcomed what we were and what we are doing. And also at the same time, I think your audience is really liking what we're doing, because we're just doing something different, but it's also the same because it's striking, right? It's full contact. You've got beautiful skills and techniques from these fighters, and you've got KOs, right? Everybody loves a nice technique and a finish. So I think we deliver basically everything what a true combat sports fan would want to see from a league. And I think, this really sums it up, that's why we created this league and where we're heading.
And I appreciate that. Thank you. Great job. In terms of commission, are you guys regular? If you hold an event in Miami, does the Florida Commission oversee you guys, or are you not under their umbrella?
No, we are.
Okay.
We are. And it's different in every state.
Yeah.
But we've been doing events in Florida, in New York, in Los Angeles. So, everywhere it's a little bit different. but sometimes it's a modified MMA rule set what we have, and sometimes it's a standalone karate rule set, but it's different in every state.
And who owns Karate Combat?
Oh, that's a nice question. I mean, maybe the question I would ask: who will own Karate Combat? And this might be a little teaser of what we're up to in the next couple of months. I cannot really disclose more, but I think we're going to do something which no league ever done with the fans, with our fighters, and obviously with the existing ownership as well.
Wow, that is quite the tease. So right now, is there an owner?
There are.
Okay.
There are owners. I have my partners who actually back in 2017, they found me and asked me to build the sport itself. And they were investing a lot of money and funding the whole league. And still today they are behind and great partners. And but things going to change pretty soon.
Wow. Okay. When is your first
Triller? Triller's not going to buy us.
It's not Triller. That is okay. I hear, by the way, you're not a huge fan of all this Triller BKFC stuff. Is that accurate?
No, I mean, I think everybody should do what they do. Build their own platform, their league. I would just say, like, we do stuff differently. We built our pit. It's not a ring. You can do a triangle, but it's still gonna be a ring. We have our own pit. We have virtual environment. We're not copy pasting the UFC, and also we're not just hiring guys who were ex-UFC, right? So we're building a league from the ground up with karate fighters. We have more than 130 fighters under exclusive contract with us. These guys are really, really Olympic athletes. So like they are really at the top of their game. And, now this is great that we can showcase that, like their level. And I mean, it's just I'm not a huge fan of seeing guys coming out of retirement. Frank Mir, that's probably not the best one. And you can name it. It's just like a short-term thinking what we see. We could do this all day. I mean, like the amount of money we invested into virtual environments, right? And to do with the Unreal Engine what we've done with season 2 and 3, nobody done it before. We could just, buy a few of these guys who are free agent or like they got released from the UFC, but we didn't go that route. So like you've got these guys, Bas, Wonder Boy and GSP, they are with us. Obviously, they were at the UFC, but they are, huge household names, but they're also really great people. And I'm not saying the others are not. I'm just saying that like we want to be a family, a community where, great people do great things. And I think that's this is a really good formula for us.
Is it necessary though, in order to like really get on people's radars, especially in the world of martial arts and mixed martial arts, do you need to get one of these big free agent signings, just one, in order to attract people? Do you feel like that needs to happen or no?
I mean, it would definitely be easier for us. And I'm not saying we're not going to do that, right? So, but I think what we're about to do is not somebody who gets fired or released or retired. So, actually, I'm meeting Lyoto Machida this Thursday. I would love him. Last season, he was a seasoned sensei. This year, he's still with us, and I'm going to meet him. And, he's up for his last Bellator fight in May. And, we'll try to have him around. And, he's still not old. He still has it. And, our rule set really, really favors the guys who are not wrestlers, who are like their first aspect is not BJJ or grappling. So these guys, really, really love what we do. It's also 3 minutes, 3 times 3 minutes is shorter rounds. And also the whole rule set what we have is really, really good for them. I'm also really close with Raymond Daniels just to do some name drops. And you mentioned, but like these guys are really important. They really fit into our picture. We just signed Gabriel Varga. He's going to debut soon. So we are leveling up for sure. But at the same time, the guys we already have, we're building our own stars. So if you watch an event of ours, these guys have their own profiles, their own backstories. And we are trying to put it into people's mind that, the journey of the fighter. And if I just gonna buy somebody for a one-off event because he already has a built-in audience, that doesn't really serve me, because this person is going to go to the next promotion when anybody going to pay more. So that's why, we're just doing stuff differently, and we are just not the UFC juniors.
I respect that. To be clear, though, when you say that you're meeting with Lyoto, it's to talk about potentially fighting for karate, right? To compete for karate combat?
He's still doing his Bellator fight. We have a really good relationship because of last year, and I think we became friends. Lyoto is a very nice human being, and it's an honor working with him as well. And I'm here in Miami, and he's around in Florida, so this is a perfect time, and we're just gonna meet up, talk, and we'll see. Now I don't really want to disturb him unless he want to bring something up. I don't want to disturb him, let him focus fully on his last fight at Bellator, and then we're going to figure it out after.
Imagine GSP competing for you guys. Have you tried? I mean,
I did, obviously.
Yeah.
That was, that's I'm a pretty rookie promoter, but not that rookie.
Yeah.
So that, this was okay, the first thing, if I can make GSP versus Machida, then probably I should retire.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I've got GSP said himself that this is too tough for him. He already retired. He has this behind him, and that's exactly what he told me. Although I would tell you this, and I said this to GSP, that Machida wanted to fight him. He said let's do it, and but GSP said he said. When it comes to boxing, and last year we were shooting the content what we are shooting right now for the season, and that was the exact time when GSP got the message that the Oscar De La Hoya fight was offered to him, and we were talking there with Bas, and they were seriously considering or talking about it, and he said for boxing he would probably take it because of the bigger gloves. The rule set is different. But, you cannot really look down to karate combat just because it's not MMA, because, this is full contact fighting with the small gloves. So you have to be really, really careful of what you do there, because it's just dangerous. Any full contact combat sports is dangerous, and so as karate combat.
Where can people watch karate combat?
Yeah, so last season we had distribution in over 100 countries. In the USA, we were on CBS Sports. In Europe, Eurosport, over 40 countries. We were on Globo in Brazil, and we had, great distribution. For this year, we're trying to level this up. We're gonna disclose this information pretty soon, and we're gonna announce that. But, Karate Combat was always a digital first kind of promotion. This is how we built from the very beginning. Because this is what we thought that the audience is going or where they are going, and I think with our moves in the next couple of months, we're gonna be very double down on digital, and one thing we also gonna do differently than others, that we don't really want to limit our audience or that they cannot watch our fights. We want to have access for everybody. So that's why we're putting on our fights on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and all social channels. You are basically able to do it. And also the same goes with linear distribution. We just don't want to right now have only one exclusive deal. Maybe in a country we can do this, but still we want to do it digital, because we want to, it's not only about the eyeballs, but we want everybody to have access if they want to consume our product.
And what about live events?
Very good question. Again, we're coming back to Florida. So with season 4, we're going to come back with 4 events back to back. It's going to be, the last one is going to be a kind of season finale, and we are coming back to Florida. The promoter's license, the event permit, everything is in process, and very likely it's going to be June 25th. And very likely it's going to be Universal Studios, where we're going to come back basically to the big live events with a real audience. So that's the one we're aiming for.
And you have a rich history competing in martial arts. What is it? I don't want to screw it up. You're a sixth degree. Yes, no, fifth degree.
Yeah,
fifth.
I was. So I started karate. 1989.
Okay.
So a little bit over 30 years ago. And I competed until 2012 in the national team of Hungary. I won the World Games and I won a few medals at the World Championships. Since then, I picked up BJJ. So that's over 11 years I'm doing that. So yeah, you can say I have a little bit of a background, and I'm also been involved with the UFC at my home country, doing analysis. So I think what I could bring to the fighters that I gather all the information, and we are trying to get the best out of all these worlds, and to create something which is like super engaging for fans around the world, and something, look around. We don't want to compete with MMA. We're in the same space, but look what happened to Glory, recently. I think we are up there to be one of the big stand-up or striking leagues. Like back in the days, you had K1, and right now, you have Glory, you have Karate Combat, but like we're going up, and a lot of other guys are going down, maybe. And right now we only have karate guys, but like in the near future, we're gonna transition away, or not away, but like we're gonna accept more people who are accepting our rule set. But we had to have just like the karate community get up to speed until we can open it up more.
What about, hot topic fighter pay? How competitive can you be in that regard?
Look, I mean, I think when it comes to the situation right now, compared to our size, and that we are around for like 4 years or so. I think if you look at local MMA leagues in the US, like we are paying much more money for our fighters, and in a sport which doesn't really pay the athletes, because you can do basically only amateur karate, you can be part of a national team or a club, you never getting paid, you always pay for participation, and you always pay for the gear. And we turn this around, and not only turn this around, but we are giving a decent amount for our fighters. And in the new format, which I teased, which that's going to be even better for the fighters, and even for very big names, that might be something to consider to join the league.
Exciting stuff, Adam. Pleasure to have you on. Good luck to you and the team. Season 4, you said potentially June 25th. A lot of teases here about ownership, about where to watch the events. That's good. That's good promotion by you. Keep us wanting more. Keep us guessing. Well done on your part, my friend.
Thank you very much. And yeah, before I got on, after these guys, I said probably your audience is wondering like who the fuck is that guy, and I hope I helped a little bit, not to point stuff on myself, but on the league, because what we're creating here is something special.
Amen.
Thanks, Ariel, for having me.
I wish you guys the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
There he is, Adam Kovacs, the president of Karate Combat, doing big things. Another opportunity for competitors, for fighters to make money, to have an outlet. That is very good. And when you have guys like GSP, Bas Rutten, Wonderboy Thompson involved, Lyoto Machida, nice stamp of approval there. All right, so thank you very much to him and the whole team. Shout out to my guy, John Joe O'Regan, for setting up all of those interviews. That was great. Nice little setup there, one after the other. That probably made Joe's life in the back very easy on this Monday, and that's great. We love that. Now, coming up in a moment, we will check in with GC, see how his bets were from this past weekend. Also check in with York Ric. We'll talk about Will Smith. We'll talk about Chris Rock. We'll talk about all the things that happened since we last spoke. That was a crazy show on Wednesday with Hamzat and Darren and all that stuff. But first, college basketball fans, join the action on the court during the biggest tournament of the year with DraftKings Sportsbook. Turn your team's victory into your own big win. New customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets. If they do, it's that simple. If they win, you win. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state just yet, you can still join the college hoops action with DraftKings Pools. Everyone can play free. Pools all March long for a shot at a share of over $250,000 in prizes. Simply join a pool and answer questions like who will make it to the next round and who will hit the most three-pointers. Then track your results. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code TheMMAHour. That's promo code TheMMAHour, one word. Bet $5 on any college hoops team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. Of course, there's only 4 left, so choose wisely. If they win, you win with the promo code TheMMAHour this week at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and older. Restrictions apply. See show notes for details. By the way I say details, we had a fierce debate before the show. It reminded me of our debate. Hello, GC. Ooh, I like these posters back there. Details de me.
Yeah, details. I was actually about to say something about that.
Yes. The distinguished broadcasters say details. Yeah. The regular common folks say details.
Someone like Robin Roberts.
Oh, you're still so okay. Just to bring everyone up to speed. Why were we talking about Demi Moore?
She's G.I. Jane.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. How could I forget? G.I. Jane, the joke from last night. G.I. Jane 2. She shaved her head way back in the day, like 30 years ago or something. I said Demi. You somewhat rudely said that's not how you say her name. We then went to the tape. 5 different examples all said Demi. You found one. Who said Demi?
I mean, you're just fabricating everything now.
3 hours later, we're still sticking by this.
Letterman is the only example we found.
No, I found the guy. I found the guy on the YouTube thing who said
No, you did Demi. A Google search, and it was like a computer pronunciation. Frank's on my side. This is a rare moment. Frank is on my side as well.
Frank, you say Demi Moore?
I say Demi Moore.
That's crazy. I mean, we listened to it ourselves.
I mean, we listened to Robin Roberts say Demi to her face. And she stared her right back. And
I bet I could find a clip right now of her saying to me. New York Ric agrees with me.
It sounds like we draw the line in the sand.
What does Yoon say?
I don't.
She said
I don't know if
Demi
she
Moore.
knows who Demi Moore is.
Yeah.
She said Demi Moore?
Yeah.
What does Joe say?
He's on Team
Joe
Demi
is
Moore.
pounding his fists on the table, screaming Demi Moore.
Yeah, right. I don't believe it. I would hear that. Well, that's crazy. So anyway. Goes to show that, you could say things different ways. We got some interesting posters back there. Who is that? Oh, is that Kai France?
Oh.
There's your guy.
This old thing right here?
Yeah, there he is.
Go ahead.
Man.
Oh, just had to.
Wow. That is a high quality print, by the way. Where'd you get that?
This is expedited shipping.
That is really high quality. No, seriously. How did you print that so quickly? You went to a store?
No, we got our man. We got our connections, CA, Corporate Alex.
I know, but does he do that in the actual building here? Does he go to a separate locale?
No, I hit him up last night.
Oh, look at you.
Also, shout out to my great.
Yeah.
Getting a goal this
in
weekend.
The first 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great week for GC's Corner here.
I know.
Casey's still running on a high.
You got a WrestleMania poster because there's nothing else going on this weekend, right? In combat. Is there really nothing this week? Oh, look at that. Oh, my God.
The disrespect.
Do you agree with what I said? That fight happens at the Apex. He might lose?
Nope.
You don't agree?
No.
This is crazy.
This is what I said, man. What if the takedowns aren't working for Askar? He goes 2 for 14. I scored a 30-27 personally.
Yeah, right. Now, what do you think? Do you think they should give him the title shot next? Or it's, Moreno Figueiredo seems like they're making it for July 30th. Have that play out, but still have him fight. It just will be 3-4 months later.
I think what you said, the secondary one, I think they're going to do the 4th one, and then he fights.
But no, is there a part of you that thinks, screw the 4th fight? We just saw this 3 straight times. Give Kai the shot.
That's personally what I want.
Right.
We just saw this 3 times. That's what Davison went on Twitter and said. Pretty graphic.
It was a little weird. It was very Henry Cejudo-esque.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
That tweet.
Yeah, shout out to Kai. Pulled it off.
All right, so how'd we do?
Had a little faith. We did good, man. Made it 5 straight winning weeks. Let's go ahead and run through it real quick.
Did you listen to my Nicolau pick or no?
So you were bragging so much about Nicolau and McCann. Do you remember when, you forced me to do the underdog parlay?
Oh, now you don't listen to me.
No. I forced the underdog parlay. Someone asked me during On the Nose.
Oh, yeah.
And I said Nicolau, Gutierrez, and Kai Kara France. That also hit. I mean, we were just calling the dogs this weekend. A few people took that too. They sent it to me.
What was it?
It was Nicolau.
No, but it was like plus what?
Yeah, like plus 1,700. Some dude put $50 on it. Yeah, pretty crazy, man.
I love the underdogs.
I mean, even when we're not giving betting advice, we're giving betting advice.
It's crazy.
So yeah, we get Magny. That was a close one. That was a dicey one. Strong last 2 rounds from him, though, I guess. Get Kara France. Don't get Kara France inside the distance, unfortunately. There were some moments where I thought we might get it, especially. Yeah, that's why we only put 0.2 units on it. There was some moments where I thought we were going to get Brown Barberena. Absolute war.
Crazy.
Goes the distance, though. Grasso, beautiful sub in the first round. We'll do the parlays now. The parlays we won, really no stress going on there. We lose the prop parlay, though, because Grasso did get that sub in round 1. I had the over 1.5. That didn't work out. Air fryer. It was only a dream. Wasn't even close. Final recap here. We go 5-4 total, but because of how we laid it out, we finish up 2.63 units. We are now up 21 in 2022, and we are up just under 33 units.
Louise. This is crazy. You know, all those other jabron guys online that fancy themselves like expert bettors or pickers or whatever you say.
Which I am not.
No. But they fancy themselves.
Sure.
It's a bizarre community that you're a part of, if I'm being honest.
It is very bizarre. There are some strong opinions that run around there. I try to kind of stay out
Plus
of
32.86. I mean, how does that stack up?
Yeah, I mean, decent. I mean, I think the biggest thing I need to do is find out my return on investment.
Right.
Because like I said, like my bets are typically around 1 unit, where like some people's bets are like 5 units, 7 units.
Got
you
it.
know, I see sometimes people just do 11 unit bets. So yeah, I need to find out return on investment to really find out where I stack up, which I can do. I got the spreadsheet saved. So
in terms of the actual like unit thing over there, whatever you call that, the total, I feel like that's pretty damn high.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that have been doing this for a while and are up in the hundreds, but they're also, like I said,
no, but
I'm not a professional. I'm a producer that gives out betting.
I'm saying dating back to January. Of course, I'm not saying all time. I'm saying dating back to January. That's a pretty damn good run.
Yeah, we're happy with it, man. We're hot right now.
Stop being so humble right now. I'm trying to, despite the shots.
I just know I've been doing this. Been doing this for a while. I know there's a, we'll
I get it.
Eventually.
I get it. You don't want to puff the chest because like right around the corner.
It's gonna happen, dude. It is the cycles of betting.
It's like something I heard recently. A very wise man said this. When you're at your highest, do you know what I'm gonna say?
When the devil comes for you. Shout out Denzel.
Denzel just sitting there. Sensei Denzel.
Sensei Denzel.
I mean, the guy's just unbelievable. Well, that's impressive. Well done.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. We're going to try and keep it rolling at 273. We'll have a couple very small wagers on WrestleMania this week.
Are there lines out?
There are lines
What do we got? I mean, we're going to get the official picks on...
yeah, we'll get the official picks on Wednesday.
Where can I see these lines?
So it's a website called Bet Online.
Oh,
That's
right.
where,
right.
you really force them.
No, I didn't mean. I mean, you could have sent me the link.
Yeah, you could have done that. We do know you check your Slack constantly.
Right.
That's how you know.
Right. Wow, a lot of shade. Jeez. So you really don't think I thought that I knew that?
I can pull up the tape and we can.
Wow.
We can timestamp it and everything. I mean, I'm talking as soon as I sent it, you peeked down, and then you started doing that. You started scratching the head.
Yes.
Like you knew it in your head. You were doing the whole ruse. You were like, oh yeah.
Wow.
Now I'm sitting on this one now.
Frank, what do you think? Do you think I knew it? Or, I mean, this guy didn't know what Invicta FC was 4 months ago, and he's telling me about the history of the sport and what I know. I've been doing this gimmick of running down, the cards.
Didn't know Invicta FC. Why do you think I took Alexa Grasso?
Yeah, that's right. Frank, what do you think?
I honestly didn't see you look at Slack.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it
We
past
can go
you.
back to the tape.
Wow.
I'm going to look at it later.
The good news is we got tape.
I don't get notifications. You think I have Slack open here? I mean, that actually sort of feels like character assassination right here.
I'm just...
York Ric, what do you
I
think?
have a monitor of your face right in my grill. As soon as I sent that Slack, the eyes darted.
Surely New York Ric is on my side on this one. He has seen this before.
Yeah. No, the memory is a steel trap. Unfortunately, in this case, that I'm going to have to side with.
Wow.
There's some shady business going on. I saw the eyes, much like Connor.
Listen, I don't refute that you are an encyclopedia, that you have a memory.
This really hurts.
I mean, steel trap.
This really,
look, you're getting up there.
There
it's
he
okay
is.
to lose a step.
Okay. You know what's interesting about this? You're saying to me that I looked at your thing, and yet you wrote it to help out, I would presume.
I did help out.
So
yeah,
even
that's what I was trying to do.
I mean, he told me he was trying to rub it in your face. That's what he told me.
But what I worry is that you were like, "Well, I thought of it. I finally thought of it. I never forget anything. This never happens."
Yeah, But isn't that's really interesting because shouldn't a good producer then say, yeah, I want to give the assist, but I don't want the credit for it? Because doesn't that defeat the purpose of the assist?
So after you looked at the computer, I literally said to the control room, I was like, I hope he doesn't get mad at me for telling him what it was because he wanted to think of it on himself.
He looked at me and
he was like, wow.
I'm going to show Helwani. I'm going to dunk on him.
See, that's crazy. Because you would think, why else would, that's the role of the producer. You say thing in the, you say something in the talent's ear, you want to help them out. You don't want the talent to then be like, oh, shout out to the producer who saved me. You know how many guys on broadcasts have said things that they didn't think of themselves? Someone said it in their ear.
Now, you gotta be fair. You gotta be fair to GC. Times are changing. It's a different era. He's a younger dude. I
have fond memories of 144.
He wants to shine, right?
This is the new era. This is young kids. This is how they do it.
I will say, very impressive that you knew there was 2 cards in February.
I freaking knew that. I was there at UFC 144. I was there at Saitama. Where were you? You were still in diapers back in February of 2012. I was there. I was talking to Sexyama. What grade were you in February of 2012?
I was a senior in high school, yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I'm in freaking
I don't think
Japan.
I was old enough to watch UFC at that point.
With future MMA fighter E.K.C. Leiden, all right?
The legend.
Shout out.
Yeah, we were at the Tsukiji Fish Market. Look it up.
What an epic video I watched.
I can't,
I actually watched it as well. You told me about it, yeah. Great video.
And all that said, I mean, yet still, I
throw one out right now. I
saw the eyes. I saw the eyes go.
Wow.
The eyes were there. We're going to go back to the tape. We're going to
throw one out right now. Go right now. Go ahead.
What's the
Look,
like?
my
What are we
eyes are
doing
here.
here? Main event.
Go ahead. Yeah. So you throw out the thing. Yeah, that's the gimmick. Throw one out right now.
UFC 71.
Yeah.
Okay. 70. Oh, that's a great one. That's one of my favorites.
Why did you look
I didn't look down. I didn't look anywhere.
Right at your
MFers. Rampage Jackson and Chuck Liddell. I mean, it was an iconic one.
Because he doesn't know. He named one that's.
I know, the easiest one. That's like saying who won between the Cavs and the Warriors in 2016. Okay, what else you got?
Cavs.
Throw it out right now.
I was hoping Rick was going to assist.
Throw it out right now. Throw a number.
UFC.
No. Go.
What do you mean? No.
The doubter.
Yes or no?
I want the doubter to do it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Step back.
Let's go UFC 113.
Oh, what an easy one. Vancouver.
Yeah. I'm saying the numbers before I Google them.
This guy, you see, that's the crazy thing about this, New York Ric. It's like, I had a moment, like a brain fart, if you will.
Yeah, right. That's what I think you had.
Yeah.
That's all.
But I needed a moment to compose myself, but don't you dare for a second doubt
Listen,
me.
I don't
UFC
doubt
113.
you. I do doubt that 144 popped in the head that right then and there.
All honesty, do you have to commit these to memory? Does it just happen naturally? Do you have flashcards?
I think he's lived through all of them.
By the way, I was wrong. Just let me say, you see, this is how good I am. 113 wasn't Vancouver. 115 was Vancouver. 113 was Montreal. And that was Machida versus Shogun. Also Paul Daly versus Josh Koscheck. Also Matt Mitrione versus Kimbo Slice.
Matt Mitrione, Kimbo Slice. That's great.
What else?
I want to correct you because he's scared now.
No. Yeah. Yeah, I said Vancouver and you're like, oh, yeah, he's right. Yeah. See?
I hadn't Googled it yet, but your confidence.
One more. Do it right now. Let's go.
UFC.
I'm loving this.
What's your weak point? Is there a decade? Or
why? See that again? Why would you try to zone in on the weak point? It should be about accentuating the strengths. Do it right now.
You're scared of
all these numbers. I like.
Go ahead.
I Google them and then I recognize the names.
Go ahead.
That's it. You got nothing? This is a 10-7 right here. This is a 10-7.
Here's what I was about
Cat's
to
got
say.
your tongue.
Here's what I was about to say.
How dare you?
How
in the face
easy
of
would this one have been?
Right.
UFC 83.
Oh my God. Jeez,
what I'm frantically Googling.
What are we doing here?
I'm picking the worst numbers.
Come on, Montreal. Kenny Florian replaced Joe Rogan that night. GSP Sarah 2.
Yeah.
The great Caleb
as soon as I saw the
Starnes
name, I was like, this guy.
Against Nick Quarry.
All
right, fine.
Well done, though. Impressive.
Yeah.
It is impressive. It's wildly impressive.
No, it's just crazy. I mean, it's crazy.
It was the 144, though, that got you.
It was weird because it was 2 in that month, so it screwed me up.
I don't blame you.
2 in that month.
There's always a reason. There's
so many numbers to keep up with. I don't blame you.
No, I'll tell you right now. If you say to me right now, no, it's no cap, like 265, I don't think I can even remember it.
Yeah, the older ones.
Oh, okay, all right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like 233.
Yeah.
Well, it would literally take me 4 hours.
What is the like delineation point when you stopped
It
going?
kind of no. Honestly, it was like around. I feel like it was the move to ESPN as like, and I don't know why that is, but like 212, 213, it starts to get a little hazy.
We also have to remember at the time that those events were happening, they were so much more significant from a, how far in between fights, the buildups, the level of talent from top to bottom on each of the cards. They felt like an event. Now it's like it's a mill. It's churned out. The ability to keep up with them is so much harder.
And yeah, they were a little more special. Like I used to do this.
Special, yeah.
I used to do this game all the time. Like 65 was GSP. No, 56 was GSP's Matt Hughes.
Yeah.
66 was, see, now I'm forgetting.
No, 65 was GSP Matt Hughes.
Oh, 65. Yes, that's right there. 65 was GSP Matt Hughes in Sacramento. 66 was Tito versus Chuck. 67 was Luder versus Anderson. 68 was Randy versus Tim Sylvia. 69 was GSP versus Sarah. 70 was the crazy Krokop and Gonzaga.
We get it.
71. Well, let me see how far I can
Bring
go.
us all the way up to 273.
This is great content right here.
We
71. 71 was Rampage versus Liddell. 73 was in Belfast. 74 was 72 was in Belfast. 73 was stacked. UFC stacked on my birthday. Rashad Evans and Tito fought on that. Hermes Franca. 74. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you guys.
Listen, the haters will always have UFC 144.
Yeah. All right. I need to have this conversation about what happened last night because the world is talking about this, and I'm certainly a little bit conflicted. So, Oscars, I'm watching it. Everyone's watching. It seemed like the world is watching it. It's like one of those rare times where your entire timeline is talking about the exact same thing. And now I just saw something here that the Academy is going to quiz. What are they doing? What? Oh, breaking news. Yes, thank you for that. See, that's a good producer right there. I just saw this courtesy of Jedi. Where is it? Yes, per statement from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences issued on Monday afternoon. The Academy condemns the actions of Mr. Smith at last night's show. We've officially started a formal review around the incident and will explore further action and consequences in accordance with our bylaws, standards of conduct, and California law. First, let's just get this out of the way. New York Ric, work or shoot?
Shoot, for sure.
GC?
Yes, shoot. I agree with Rick here.
Shoot, by the way, means real. Work means, I don't know.
Yeah. She actually was banking on that being the case.
Frank?
Yeah, it's a shoot.
Okay. Now.
It's a shoot, brother.
What do you think, Rick? What do you think of it? Who's at fault? Who wins the round?
Nobody's at fault. I think people want somebody to like pin everything on. And I think the reality of life and just things in general is like there's a blame pie to go around. Everybody's to blame. Everybody's not to blame. Like it doesn't need to be this one person is the villain and everybody else is absolved. And I find that this is happening with the Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal situation. It's like who's right, who's wrong? They're both right. They're both wrong. I feel similarly in this scenario.
But wait a second. Can we not agree on this? Like comedy is about, cracking jokes. That's the role of that guy.
I agree with that.
Historically, that guy, the host, he was one of many last night, but like in that precise moment, is to basically make fun of everyone in attendance. That's historically the job, right? Ricky Gervais, Jimmy Kimmel, him, blah, blah, blah. As far as like wisecracks are concerned, one of the more tame ones, right?
Yeah, it wasn't like...
Did it really warrant walking up to him and freaking open hand?
I will say this. Look, you yourself have long talked about the hot button things, the third rails, right? Family is
yes. Now, is it not different? And again, I'm working this out because I was very vocal about this last week about Jorge and Colby.
Family.
Don't talk about family. Now that's
as Vin Diesel would say.
Yes,
Fam.
that's fight promotion. This is comedy. Two totally different lanes, right? You can't.
I'm okay with with both of them understanding the consequences of what's happening here. Chris Rock knows that there are safer jokes to make. Yes, he could make a joke.
That was a really tame one.
There are safer ones. Yes.
Do you think
or there are even more offensive ones?
Do you think he knew about the condition?
That, I don't know. I think we have to hear from him.
So this comes out after people dig it up that his wife Jada Pinkett.
Well, I think it's known. I knew.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just thought it was a cool look. I mean, I think she looks great. She has alopecia, which means like you can't grow hair.
Yeah.
Charlie Villanueva was the first guy I ever learned about alopecia. Remember him?
Yeah.
This was before your time, GC. Charlie Villanueva,
NBA basketball player. I knew.
Did GC know who Charlie Villanueva was?
He did. Yeah.
Okay.
We actually talked about it pre-show. KG.
KG.
He got into a beef with.
Oh, right. Got it.
Before your time.
Yeah.
Before your time. All right, let's not just do this for every single thing that happens on the show from now on. Bringing it back here.
Okay.
I knew about this. I think her struggles with it and having talked about it has been public knowledge. When she first appeared with the shaved head, this is something that had been brought up. Either way, I think we need to know whether he knew or not. That will be for Chris Rock to decide. There are safer jokes. There are more offensive jokes. He's taking a risk in that scenario by making that specific joke. Whether it's a high risk, low risk, that's for him to suss out and whether he decides he wants to go with it. There are consequences for that. In this case, Will Smith decided that he was going to do something that hadn't been done in this setting before, as far as I know, and get up on stage and smack him. And I think Will Smith now has to live with the consequences. Him making the calculation, if Chris Rock now decides to press charges on me, if Chris Rock decides to come at me and attack me, there are consequences for these actions. And I think both of them decided that they can live with it, much like I've been talking about with Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington. They have both decided that they will live with the consequences of their actions.
Seems like GC wanted to say something.
I'm just laughing. I'm just recounting everything from last night and just how insane it was. I don't really have like a strong opinion on who's at fault here. I mean, it was pure insanity. Like when it happened, then you get the Australian or like the international footage where you get to hear what he's saying, and then you're like, oh, this probably wasn't fake. And then it's like, where's Will Smith? Where's Will Smith? And then they're like, nominated for Best Actor, Will Smith and King Richard. And then they go to him and you're like, oh my God, now he's on the screen. And then he wins it. And like the way that Samuel L. Jackson delivered that he won, he's just like, Will Smith. Like the announcement, it was just like.
And then he's getting a standing ovation.
It was just like. Well, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was just so insane for like an hour of television.
First of all,
is his performance worse because he did this? Well,
no. I mean, it's just a weird thing. He literally went out there and assaulted a man because of a joke. And then an hour later. Here's the thing about this whole situation. First of all, the Oscars have been somewhat irrelevant for a while. I mean, I would love to see if there's any type of metric of like, when this happened, and then like word starts to spread,
like
and if the rating,
live stream,
and like the ratings spike, right? It must have been amazing.
I wasn't watching it before,
right? I wasn't either. And then
go ahead.
Yeah, wait, I just want to say this: in the world right now, there are a few actors that I would say are universally beloved. I feel like the Fresh Prince Will Smith, I know he's had his thing, he gets made fun of, the crying and all that. I feel like he's one of those guys that everyone loves, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Now I feel like it's in a weird spot where it's like, yeah, you're happy he finally got an Oscar. Like he's been in our lives for 30 plus, actually more than 30 years when you date back to his rapping career, then Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all that. Now it's like.
Chris Rock too. Chris Rock has been in our life for.
Chris Rock did nothing wrong.
He's been
no, certainly not that.
He's been in our lives as long as I can remember. It's just like these are two like giant megastars like getting into this. That's what also made it so crazy. Like
who are also beloved, right?
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of people don't like. I just feel like in that universe when you're making jokes like that, and especially that one being relatively tame. You don't deserve to get slapped. And by the way, the reason I scored it for Chris Rock was the dude stood there like a freaking champ.
He ate it.
Scored it.
He not only he transitioned, he moved on, he didn't make it about himself. He could have freaking tackled him.
Super pro move.
Yes.
100%. Super pro move. Chris Rock came off looking like aces.
What do you think is going on in his mind when that's happening?
Well, he also could have said he could have taken it a step further afterward. Like he could have started saying some real wild stuff.
Yes.
I think he did. I don't think he wanted another one of those. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants Will to turn around and come back. I think there was a moment there where if you freeze it after he got smacked, I think there's a moment where that fist got balled and he was thinking what to do. Look, I mean, if you're just standing there and somebody smacks you like that, no matter how cool you are, no matter how good under pressure you are, there's a moment where you think, okay, I'm about to fight or flight. You know, you have that. But he was cool under pressure. Chris Rock's a pro. I thought he handled that like the best you could possibly handle that. I'll push back on I don't think Will Smith takes a huge PR hit here. I don't think he goes from universally beloved.
No, he's getting a lot of love for it. He's getting a lot of love.
But I don't think it will turn on him.
If it was 100%, it's now 75-25.
Here's what will happen. I disagree. Here's what will happen. Those two are going to make a movie together. They're going to sit down for an interview together. There's going to be this whole thing. Look, I shouldn't have said that about your wife. Yeah, man, you know, I came up there and smacked you. You can tell how serious something is by the level of memes and like how funny the memes are. If this was truly heinous, the memes wouldn't be this good. And the memes wouldn't be this funny. And the memes wouldn't be this lighthearted. This will go away quickly. They're going to be doing a 1 hour interview together.
Quickly.
They're going to be doing a 1 hour interview together in less than a week. And then they're going to be doing a film
at the red table
together.
They're going to be at the red table?
Maybe at the red table.
Yeah, imagine that.
That's a bad place for Will Smith. Did you see the videos of him at the post parties with the Oscar dancing to his own song?
This is going away quick.
Get jiggy with it. I mean, I would have been uncomfortable watching him dance like that.
Yes.
Like,
if I'm Chris Rock,
this is.
By the way, the reason I thought this was shout out to him for that. I mean, Chris Rock, the Leon Edwards of the Academy Awards.
For sure.
If I'm, you know, like, it's like Will Smith, you just had your greatest moment ever, and he kind of ruined it. He ruined it.
I don't agree.
Well, he hadn't had the moment yet.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what's even.
You don't think they knew that? You don't think they know?
He wasn't celebrating like a guy who was too broken up about it.
Look at him in the acceptance speech. He's feeling emotional about it. He's feeling conflicted. He's feeling a certain way about what he did. All his references. The first thing he says is
the family stuff.
Yeah, he was a fierce defender of his family. Yeah. Richard Williams.
And then an hour later, he's drinking, you know, champagne and throwing his trophy around. He's not too broken up about it. Again, I think everybody in that scenario is willing to live with the consequences there. That could have turned out differently if Chris Rock does something else. That could have turned out differently if Chris Rock presses charges. It still remains to be seen. Just because he's not pressing charges now doesn't mean he won't ultimately. But yeah, I think everybody was okay with the consequences there. I think there will be it's hard to call it a happy ending, but I think there will be a resolution here where it's like it becomes water under the bridge, and we might look back on this one and have it mean.
Well, I'm not saying that there's going to be like some sort of war that breaks out between, you know, the Rock camp, but I can assure you this, and I want to get Frank's take on this. I feel like there's a lot of people. Chris Rock has a lot of friends, right? The Jerry Seinfelds of the world, all these like old
friends,
yeah. And if I'm one of his like fraternity brothers, I'm like, yo, Will, man, come on, you can't act like that. Like, you're in comedy, you understand the way this works. We make fun of people. Isn't that the whole game here? Like, you can't do that. I feel like within that fraternity, he may have made a lot of enemies. He may have turned a lot of people off.
I don't buy that just because. Yes, I agree with you that he may have, but I don't buy that because you could say the same. You could excuse away the fight game stuff the same way. This is what we do in the fight game. We talk about people, this and that, and you're saying there are
still
still
a lot of people talk
rails.
about family in the fight game.
I think.
Yeah, but so why is that different? He talked about his family in front of millions of people on television. Why is that different?
As if it hasn't happened before. I think this has a longer lasting impact than what he's saying.
It's happened before in the fight game too.
There is no way that Chris Rock is cool with what Will Smith did.
No.
There is absolutely no way. There's no way he's sitting down in a week for an interview to make it water under the bridge.
Oh, that will happen. Guaranteed.
In 1 week,
in a
guaranteed.
week, no way.
What
is probably like
give me the odds. There's no shot.
What do you think, Frank? What do you think?
I'm just a firm believer that you can't control what happens, and you can't control how you feel about it, but you can control how you react to something. And I thought he reacted poorly.
Now, when you say he, do you mean
Will Smith?
Yes.
There's a million other things that he could have done, and if he was like a 20-something, you know, fresh on the scene sort of thing, and he didn't know how to control his emotions from that, sure. And it just feels weird seeing somebody like that knows better go and take it into that.
Do you feel differently about Mr. Will Smith?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's a veil. It's like, I realize the guy's an actor, so like whatever way that I thought of him positively, I was like, oh, I guess that was all a lie. Kind of like some other actors that have shown their true colors.
Lie. Everything was a lie.
He seemed like a lunatic up there.
A little bit, yes.
This is comedy is as flimsy a defense as this is the fight game. It can't work that way. It can't work that way. There have to be consequences.
Well, the weird thing is, I'm on the side of in the fight game, you can't go there. But in this case, like I'm readily, because I know someone will say, how could you say this, but
I
say
will
that?
say that. It can't.
I feel like they're two totally different things.
Why?
Because as GSP said, when you're fighting someone, when it's your opponent and they're using these things to rile you up, to get on your skin, to quote unquote self-fight, it's one thing as opposed to a guy whose actual job description is to be up there and make fun of all of you. Like that's what they do. Historically, for the past 50 years of that role, it's like, I'm going to make fun of you. And by the way,
Nobody's
say
saying
1,000 times worse things.
I'm not advocating.
Not every fighter says things about your family. In fact, I would say 0.1% have ever brought family involved. That's why that was different and why this one was unwarranted. And by the way, just to repeat one more time, because I got a lot of crap for it, I never once said that Masvidal should have done what he did, right? It was very unfortunate and very ill-advised. Never should have done that. But I said I could understand why why it led him to go down that path. I don't understand why. I guess that's the best way that I could put it. I don't understand why Will Smith felt like that was an appropriate thing to do.
I understand it for the same reasons I understand Masvidal. Like
you can't compare also the things that
consequences.
Covington said about Masvidal to what was said last night.
No, if
called him a deadbeat dad, said he doesn't pay his alimony.
Colby took it further, no doubt.
This guy made a joke. I mean, it's like someone making fun of my nose. It's an appearance.
Yeah. And what if they made fun of your wife's nose? What if they made fun of your wife's condition? How you feeling?
But we've seen that, like with
how you feeling?
Fighter and the Kid.
Are you feeling confident enough to go up in
this
front
falls
of the
apart.
Oscars?
This falls apart.
I'm actually feeling okay because first of all, I know Chris Rock.
Apart.
If I'm Will Smith, I know Chris Rock. I have some kind of relation. I saw a picture when they were all together.
Yeah, I'm sure they've crossed paths.
Yeah. There's pictures of them.
I mean, they were on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air together.
Was Rock on the Fresh Prince?
I think he was. Yeah.
He was
wow.
just in pictures.
Okay, so they have a relationship. They have a relationship, right? I know
that's
there was
almost worse. I'll be honest.
He said G.I. Jane. He didn't say like.
Listen.
Look, if he would have made a joke about like the infidelity stuff, okay, that's a little sensitive.
Well, Will Smith doesn't seem to mind that.
I understand the compulsion, but I'm not advocating that people should get up there and smack comedians. I think the idea, though, is that the comedians should understand the risks of that, especially when you're targeting a specific person. That is the reality.
Targeting.
I think Chris Rock.
He was up there making cracks about like 1 million different people.
Yeah, and they could have taken it personally too. One did. And
you know what's so crazy about the slap? It was so pronounced. It was like it seemed fake. It seemed like a pro wrestling slap where it was like so almost cartoonish. I had to watch it. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one.
I've watched it like like I more have found it just everything about it was just so insane and entertaining. I don't really have like a side.
I'll agree with you here. Chris Rock was doing his job more than Colby Covington was doing his job.
Okay.
But
I would agree with this. Chris Rock did
nothing
wrong and in fact did everything right in the sense that this could have gone 1,000 times
that
worse.
100%. He could have made this significantly worse, and instead he tried to diffuse the situation. He is a pro's pro. That is a man.
His stock is way up.
Yeah.
Will Smith's stock
reaction-wise, you're saying
way down.
Reaction-wise,
I don't think so.
He did everything right.
Think Smith's
reaction-wise. No, what do you mean?
Yeah,
Even the joke.
Reaction-wise, of course.
Even the joke. His jaw. He's literally put in that position to make those jokes.
Yeah.
There's an understanding that role you're roasting the room.
Yes.
There's an understanding there.
And I feel like there used to be an understanding by the audience that, hey, I'm sitting here, I'm getting roasted.
We live in different times.
The greatest of all time. I mean, I could.
You're about to say Don Rickles?
No. But I was going to say like the greatest actors of all time. I mean, no one, to the best of my knowledge. I mean, I don't go around and asking people, but I feel like no one is safe from this type of jokes, right? Like everyone who sits there, from Meryl Streep to Kevin Costner to Jordan, I feel like they've all been roasted in those spots.
Yeah, that's kind of like the conceit, right? That like nobody's safe. I'll say this though. Your point about like they seem to be friendly and have had a relationship, maybe that makes it worse in that scenario. Maybe he thought, look, you can make fun of me, but you're making fun of her condition, my wife. Like, again, there's no heroes and villains. That's what I keep coming back to. There's no heroes and villains here. There is no, this guy's the good guy, this guy's the bad guy, this, that, the other. People made choices. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. And Will Smith, I think, made a bad choice. But he made a choice, and he's willing to live with those consequences.
Wild. Chris Rock in Atlantic City this weekend. Go see him.
Oh my God, his career about to skyrocket once again.
Tickets are not cheap. Yeah.
Great question here from Max on Twitter. The real question is, why did Will Smith go for a slap and not a fist/punch? Could have laid him out. I was curious about that. You think he had the presence of mind not to go for the punch?
I think it was a calculation. Again, like in the moment, deciding like, look, I'm not trying to.
The dude lost his mind in that moment.
No, what do you mean? I mean, he could have tackled him and tried to punch him.
Imagine that?
Yeah, that was a calculation. He decided that he was going to teach him something, but he wasn't about to, make it worse than that.
Great idea here from Lewis. At the Academy, book Ariel Helwani to handle the Smith Rock face-to-face, as per New York Rick's suggestion. I don't know if you suggested that per se, but I mean, could you imagine that?
Jake Paul, $15 million apiece for him.
Yeah.
My suggestion that they're going to do content together. 100%. They are going to do this content together. No doubt.
Who do you think would be the best moderator for that?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I feel like someone like Seinfeld. Sandler. No one gets mad around Sandler, right?
So, you're saying like the
third man.
Like a mutual connection, though. You're thinking like, who could it be? Sandler would be a funny one.
DJ Jazzy Jeff? I feel like he would be.
I don't know if he has the connection to Chris Rock. Either way, what a
Lawrence,
wild
Martin Lawrence, yeah. What do you think, Frank? I mean, talk some sense into all of us. Good look, bad look?
I don't think it's the best look, but it didn't happen. So
I talked about it for 5 minutes this morning, and Frank was like, we're still talking about this.
Wow. So Frank is totally not into the storyline. I was looking forward to this conversation the entire day.
This is
my whole subway ride in. I was like, as soon as I get in.
Couldn't wait.
Did you see the Oscars last night?
No one.
I mean, this was water cooler talk.
How crazy was Twitter in that moment, right?
I couldn't get off of it. The memes, how fast people were. It was so funny.
What about the fact that there was like the Japanese feed and then the Australian feed
came out? I mean, it was just...
That's how you get the uncensored. It
was insanity.
Shout out to Wow in Japan for giving us that.
Supreme Dreams dropped a video within hours of it happening. People are editing Joe Rogan into pictures.
See,
Jim Ross.
This is the lighthearted nature of this.
Yeah, but that's the internet having a blast. I can assure you, Chris Rock ain't laughing about this.
I assure you, the FCC is probably being bombarded.
He's probably not happy. I'll say that, but I think he'll get over it.
There's no way
quickly.
he's happy.
And I don't think Will Smith... Listen, when Will Smith went to bed last night, dancing to whatever song it was or not,
with it.
Yeah, he was like, I screwed that up. I screwed that up.
No, I think especially if he was drinking last night, I think he woke up this morning and was like, I screwed that up.
I screwed that up. This should have been the highlight of my career. 30 years, the jokey guy finally got an Oscar. Big moment.
Jokey guy, yikes. All right.
No, like he was the Fresh Prince.
Slap you next.
Imagine, 1991. You think anyone predicts that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is getting an Oscar? No.
I mean, if that's around Independence Day time, then maybe.
No, it's way before Independence Day.
Maybe, you're right. Emmys more than Oscar. I'll say this. Will Smith apologizes to Chris Rock. You think he accepts, or you think he says, nah, man, that was out of line?
No,
he accepts.
He accepts him.
That says it all.
For sure.
No, because he's a mensch. It's class act.
That says it all. We'll be moving on. We'll be moving on from this. Can't wait for the red table
talk. I think we
talk.
move on eventually. I do think we move on. I think we get an interview or like an Instagram post or something like that. I just don't think it happens in a week.
They're going to be in a movie together. I
think we kind of forget about it for a little bit. People stop talking about it. And then it's like, oh, Chris and Will back together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This will never...
You said a guaranteed next week they're sitting down for an interview.
It'll happen.
This
guy is an app.
They'll be on Jimmy... Who's booked on Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight? They'll be on Jimmy Kimmel Live
That would be a good one. Howard Stern would be a good one.
It's going to happen. Honestly, your point was the best one.
Thank you.
Invite him on
Which
Red
one?
Table. Let's just do it.
Oh my God, that would be the worst one.
Will can't come back to the Red Table.
Invite him on
We
Red
got
Table.
Willow there. They're all going to be ganging up on poor Chris.
Nah, Chris will hold his own.
To the Red Table. Jada would be there too, huh?
I can't believe that a real like weak, off the cuff G.I. Jane joke would prompt that kind of reaction. There has to, by the way, there has to be way more to the story.
That's guaranteed. There's no way
Right?
it was
Yes,
just that. There's
It
more
has
to
to
it.
be.
He's probably going through something, and that was it.
There was something behind that second.
Yeah.
Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. That
It
second
seemed
one
like there's
came
precedence. Like he's made comments about her in the past. So maybe this was a boiling point. But still not the best way to handle it.
By the way, who's that girl in back of him? She was the real star of the whole situation.
Oh, Lupita.
Lupita. Who's Lupita? She's a singer. I'm exposing myself.
Wow, no, she's an actress. She's in what was it? Us.
I didn't see a single one of those
she's in a lot
movies.
of movies.
Coda. What is Coda? Never heard of
I
this.
haven't seen Coda.
Didn't see the. Did you guys see the Richard Williams movie?
Yeah, it was great.
No.
Didn't see it.
No.
Tremendous.
What won Best Picture? Coda.
No.
Oh.
Did it?
It
I
did.
don't remember.
Coda 1.
I was so
Did you
enamored
see it,
with
Frank?
Twitter at the time.
No. I found out about it this morning.
Come on. You didn't even know when it was happening?
No, I mean about Coda.
Oh.
I was like, that's a movie?
Did you hear about the
I did, as it was unfolding.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, what a time.
I mean, it
What a
has
time.
nothing on the Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake scandal. That was
That's your
something.
big one. Except the thing is, I don't
No,
think it
he's
was.
just like enamored with the Janet Jackson.
But everyone remembers that, but there wasn't. Was
He's
Twitter
like,
a thing?
FCC changed their rules. The FCC.
I don't think
Twitter wasn't a
was-
thing. That was
No, it was not.
2003.
Yeah, no, Twitter wasn't.
06 was Twitter.
Blowing
There were
up
other
like
social
that.
networks, though.
Not really.
Facebook.
Live
on
Journal,
MySpace, live blogging.
Friendster.
Yeah, but it wasn't like this. This was
Yeah,
incredible.
No, Twitter makes things feel a lot.
So in the end, you scored for Will Smith.
I'm not scoring it for anybody. I think they're both winners and losers. And like
I can't
in all
believe
these
that
scenarios.
poor Chris Rock is a loser in this scenario.
I don't
I mean,
think
he
Chris
got
Rock is a
manhandled
loser.
on TV.
Oh,
by
in that
somebody
regard,
else.
I guess you could say in that regard. Yeah.
Yeah, you
I mean,
can
yeah, he
definitely
got-
say that in that regard.
He got slapped.
His
He stood there with his hands behind his back.
I
By the
mean,
way, not a
he
sucker
ate-
punch.
he ate the
freaking
shot.
walked
No,
right up to him.
not a sucker punch. Look, yeah, I mean, it's not great. Like, there's pictures of Chris Rock all over the internet being slapped. I don't think that that's
Not a great
exactly
moment,
what he
yeah.
wants
No,
for himself.
There's no way. There's
You don't think it's better for his career now?
no.
You don't think there's a positive in all of this that comes
Yeah,
out
I
of
think
it for
there's
him?
positive for sure.
Listen, that picture that they do together is going to be big box office.
I don't think he
Big
knew Will
box
Smith was going to slap him until Will Smith was slapping him. Like he's like laughing as he's like 2 feet away from him.
Oh my God.
And then like it happened.
I mean, they're both entertainers. They both like they're seizing a moment there. I don't think Chris Rock is thinking like I'm about to get slapped. He's thinking like, okay, let's see where this goes. He's
Jose, you
a
let me know.
comedian. He's trying to capture this moment.
By the way, how awkward must it have been in the audience, right? Like when they went to commercial and stuff
I think
like that?
I think there's pictures of the faces of like the audience, and they're all like, some are like hand and
Like,
some
oh
are
my
like,
God. And the poor people who had to get awards immediately. I think Questlove was one, which was a big moment for
I
him.
think Questlove was right after. Yeah.
Crazy. All right. Well, I just want to talk it out. You know,
Yeah.
obviously there are similarities to the fight game. I do think that it's not as black and white. You shouldn't use family to promote a fight. But in comedy, unfortunately, that's kind of the way it goes. And in that case, like, it's not like Jada Pinkett. Here's the other thing that no one's saying. Jada Pinkett Smith, no, she is a public person. She's a very famous person. Masvidal's wife and kids aren't. So as a result, Jada Pinkett Smith is fair game in that moment. She's sitting there. What are you talking about?
These are such bad takes.
This is the best take. What are you saying?
So we can go in on Austin Vanderford's wife because she's a public person. Let's just.
Well, what is that? Wait, when you say go in, what does that mean?
Like you're saying fair game to
no, but
talk
again,
about her.
I'm saying family should not be talked about to sell a fight, to promote a fight. But in comedy,
no different.
like if Chris Rock would have said something, let's just say for the sake of this conversation,
it's at her.
Will
expense
Smith's
regardless.
daughter has alopecia. She's not a famous
Yeah.
person. She's a 10-year-old
She is
girl.
a famous person.
No, I'm just saying for the sake. I'm telling you, in this scenario, call Mr. X. George Clooney has a daughter with alopecia. She is not fair game. She's not famous. She's not a public person. But Jada Pinkett Smith is. She's sitting right there. So in that case, she could be Will Smith's wife, cousin, sister, person sitting next. That's the role of a Chris Rock in that position. He's making wisecracks. He's roasting people. That's literally his job. In the fight game, it is not the role of Masvidal's wife or Colby's wife or GSP's wife or Connor's wife to be talked about. They have nothing to do with the
My
fight.
argument isn't not to make the joke. My argument is live with the consequences.
I thought you were going to say make a better joke.
Well, that's certainly something. Make it a funny joke if you're going to get, because there's going to be consequences. I have no problem with what Chris Rock said, but I also have no problem with consequences for that.
So you're cool with people just walking up to comedians and smacking them.
I'm not.
Well, you just said the consequences. You're okay with it.
I can't believe we're talking about this.
I'm
This is so crazy. Like I just can't believe
I'm
it happened
okay.
last night.
Oh, I thought you said you can't believe his
No,
takes.
I believe we're talking about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I can
But
believe
I don't
that,
agree. I don't
it's just
agree that like in one
really
realm
crazy.
or another, it's okay. In fact, I'd argue in the fight game, you can do something about it. That's the whole argument, right? Like in the fight game, if you make fun of somebody's family, you're going to be locked in a cage with them and able to fight, as opposed to making
Right.
a joke about somebody. Typically, there wouldn't be an expectation that there would be something happening. Will Smith decided that he's going to make something happen. But actually, in the fight game, you have a chance to make them pay for their words inside the cage. So I don't think one's any better than the other. I don't think in one it's fair or not fair. Every situation is different. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. But there are consequences for actions.
Frank, any final thoughts on this hot topic?
I think I'm over it.
All right, perfect. By the way, New York Ric, haven't you bet on WrestleMania in the past?
Oh boy,
I thought that was like your one thing.
No. I watch WrestleMania, but I don't bet on it
Oh,
because
okay.
it's like it's
Any good lines?
predetermined. It's predetermined. Connor,
I think
will
this
have
all stemmed from us starting to talk about WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's the last thing that's up on my computer.
Connor will have to.
Any good lines
weigh
out
in
there?
on the
Anything
lines
we're
though,
targeting?
I don't know. There's a lot of heavy favorites.
Yeah.
Maybe I have in the past just because it was easy. But
All right.
McAfee.
Rick's picks?
I can bet on
Yeah.
McAfee.
Well, what is McAfee right now?
Plus 110.
Interesting. Underdog
close line.
McAfee.
Pretty
Wow.
close line. I might have to lay it with our boy.
I think he's going to try, they're going to try to screw him with Vince McMahon. It's going to be great. That's actually the match I'm most looking
I
forward to.
wonder how many times the line is wrong when it comes to these. I would guess.
I imagine all the time.
Do me a
Or-
favor. Screen grab it right now so we know what it is on the Monday, and then we can go back. Because Lord knows we'll have nothing to talk about in this segment next Monday. Yes, give us some Rick's picks, please.
Hit my music, please, Frank.
Yes, thank you for that.
And now it's time to open up your ears and your minds, MMA fans. It's time for Rick's Picks.
Rick's Picks.
Rick's Picks are lots of
Finish my
fun,
soup.
and his hair is in a bun, because it's,
I actually
you
drank most of
already
it
know
before
what
the
it
show
is.
started.
Rick's Picks.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's the new craze taking the world by storm.
Yes.
Live from the Vox Studios in beautiful New York City, it's time for
Rick's Picks.
Yes. I like the way you took control of that situation.
Listen, experience over here. This is what we do.
I wanted to try out Rick's picks with GC on it too. You kind of bled into his segment.
We did that in rehearsal, right?
Yeah, we did, right?
No,
Bring 'em
no,
in.
We did.
What are you talking about? I actually literally said that I wanted to have
I'm
them
just
both on
teasing.
together. You guys are crazy.
Bring this guy.
I thought that was just for the Will Smith debate.
I want to see how this goes. I want to see if you have any thoughts.
Do I need
You
to
know
talk
what?
about
You know what?
McGregor?
Sit back. Just get out of
This
here.
is good stuff right here. I wanted to keep
No,
these
we don't-
vibes going.
No,
Wait, you know what? Wow.
No, this is my time.
Rick does.
Get him out.
No, yeah,
Get
get
him
me
out.
out of here for now.
Cut this
All
guy
right,
out of here.
fine. Jeez, okay.
Jesus Christ. Rick's picks this week. Not Jesus. I mean, just stepping all over it. Rick's picks this week.
I thought it would have been fun.
You know what? Maybe next week.
All right, fine.
Don't just spring it. Next week.
I feel like I'm allowed to spring
I don't.
these
You know
things.
what? I don't even know if you deserve what's about to happen.
Oh, wow. Is it a? Okay, no, I don't want to
Rick,
guess.
you know what Rick's picks is for this week?
Don't tell me it's Connor again.
Connor Burks this time. No, is somebody who I would say is essential to the fight game. Somebody very important, and somebody who's the best at what they do.
Oh, here we go. I feel a swerve coming along.
There's an asset here. There's an
here we
asset
go.
here.
Yeah.
You always complain about the assets. Ewan, why don't you roll?
Oh,
that
wow.
asset?
Finally. First time. Oh,
In an era of journalism dominated by clickbait and hot takes,
What is
one
it?
man has managed to blaze a trail of his own
wow.
because he knows integrity. When you represent the pinnacle of your industry, and you do it while answering to no one,
What is
they
this?
don't just call you the best, they call you a champion.
Wow.
Rather heel-wanny or hell-wanny,
Is this Robert Pearson?
from this moment forward,
Wow.
he shall be known as the official, undefeated, and undisputed
Wow.
World Openweight Broadcasting Champion.
Wow.
Congratulations, Ariel. You've earned it.
There he is. Wow. Surprise guest and all. Holy crap! Where did you come from?
Come crash the party, man. How are you doing?
You've been waiting here this whole time?
I've been in the basement since 6 a.m., man. It's crazy.
What's it? Wait. Listen to this. Frank, what kind of operation are you running here?
A tight ship.
Is this? Wow! Look at. Can I take these off?
Please do. Yeah.
Do you wanna?
That's great. Wow. This is unbelievable, guys. This is Robert Pierce. I'm a little bit like verklempt at the moment. This is unbelievable.
We got to keep you on your toes, Ariel.
Can we get a shot of this? Is my mic still on, Frank?
Your mic is on. Your mic is on.
Give me a thumbs up if I don't know. Joe, you tell. This is unbelievable. So this is, by the way, for those that don't know, this is Robert Pearson. Robert.
Robert, you know.
This is the first time we meet in person.
No, we went
back
many years ago. It's like
you
2013.
smell fantastic, by the way.
Gosh, thank you so much.
I just want to let you know. He has just gifted me with this belt. I can't believe York Ric. I thought he was just messing with me. Look at this belt. You made the ESPN one back in the day for DC and I.
We did.
Wow.
I figured, so this has been a while in the making. We started doing this in probably, I think, September of last year.
Really?
Yeah. And then around November, or late November, we got the ball rolling, and takes a while, to churn one of these out.
How long have you been hiding in the back today?
Probably maybe an hour.
Really?
Yeah, I've been enjoying the show. It's been great. It's beautiful.
And this is an unbelievable belt.
So, I know you're with the guys over at BT Sports.
Yeah.
Do some coverage. So this is made by Wildcat Belts, who does all the WWE belts. So
they actually do it?
Yeah, it's the same company that makes all of their championships.
Wow.
And they made the ESPN one, and now
this is a crazy. There's a picture.
It's a little dark.
Change cameras. Is nothing working?
Go back to your.
I mean, you gotta help me out here.
That's what happens when we crash it. I know. We had to. Beautiful.
Can they hear?
They hear you. Yeah. They're on the
Wow, this is unbelievable. Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
So for those that don't know, this is Robert Pearson, who made the pictures for starting with DC. Is there anything from you in here? That's you, right?
The 300. Yeah.
You did the 300. You did not do that.
No, that is.
You did not do that. You did not do that one.
No.
He made the pictures for DC and Helwani back in the day, and then the MMA Hour.
Yeah, here.
When we return, look at that. How are you?
I'm doing well, man.
This is great.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I mean.
I know it's a little.
It's like it's crazy.
I don't want to crash the party.
No. It's unbelievable. New York Ric, you knew about this? I mean, I have to put these on here for New York Ric. New York Ric? Oh, did they kill my microphone? What's going on? Don't put them on? No, not right now. Okay. All right. Can people hear me right now?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Wow. I mean, this is amazing. So, Robert Pearson has been an MMA fan.
Yeah, I would say. When was it? I mean, this will kind of expose why I got into MMA, but the Brock Frank Mir fight, that's kind of was the entry point.
The first one?
Yeah.
UFC 100.
No.
UFC 81.
Yeah.
100 was the rematch.
Yeah.
Why was that? Because you were a pro wrestling fan.
Yeah, I had been out of the pro wrestling, for a bit, but when I heard obviously Brock was fighting, I was, interested.
That got you into it, huh?
Yeah.
So it
I would
actually
say
worked.
kind of slowly after that, and then as I shared with you before, I was just a poor college kid. So when I wanted to watch a fight, your wraparound coverage was the only way I could really,
that's right,
digest the fight. So I'd watch the pre-fight stuff, stay up until after the pay-per-views and watch all your interviews on site. And yeah.
And still a pro wrestling fan, still an MMA fan. No?
Yeah, no, I mean, I, like it all, definitely, follow it. A little more, Wednesday night, AEW guy. But, again.
So you're not going to watch WrestleMania?
I don't know, I might check it out. Things are getting pretty busy with work and stuff, so I don't know if I'll be around next weekend, but I know Stone Cold's supposed to come back.
Right,
so
Kevin Owens.
In that, yeah.
The pictures, I've always wondered, like start to finish, how long does it take?
It kind of depends on the complexity, but usually, around the 4-hour mark, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. So, and it's usually split up. I don't always have the chance to sit down and just,
sure, but like start to finish, if you combine the whole thing.
Yeah, and again, a lot of them, especially with this show, we had like the base design, and I was just kind of riffing from there. Right. So yeah, that's
and what do I owe? What do I owe this belt? Like, what is the purpose?
Well, I mean, we like I said, we did it on another show.
Yes.
And things, we got to this point, and so I just figured last year, hey, you're the man, as the video said.
I appreciate that. Who made that video, by the way?
That was
you made it as well.
Real digital over here.
Wow,
That is not drawing yourself and making belts. I run a little production company, so yeah.
I can't a belt like this. This must cost a lot of money. I really appreciate it. I'm like kind of blown away by it at this point. Look at this belt. Look at
it's the idea. Right?
The detail. Well, I really appreciate you. 10-7. Wow. I mean, like I'm starting to notice Canada, US. I'm starting to notice little things. You made you teased something.
In the green room.
Yes.
Yes.
Does Chael have anything to do with this?
There was a little involvement with Chael. We kind of had a little last minute switch. We weren't really sure. Maybe,
Yes. I've heard about a few things.
Actually,
okay, now it's all coming together.
Yeah. So shout out to Troy. He was very helpful in kind of orchestrating that, and of course did appreciate Chael taking the time to record a little something.
Okay. Yeah. Now it's all coming together. Say no more.
The Chael cut. You can get that.
Yes. Did you ever go to this studio, or were you at the other studio?
I've been. I think it was at the other two.
The one on 42nd Street.
Yeah.
Right.
And then when I came in, I was like, oh yeah, I've never been here before. So.
Well, I appreciate this.
Yeah.
At Roberts Pearson on the Instagram. You don't really check the Twitter.
I'm not great with the Twitter. I should probably be better about it.
I always tag you on there. I get no response.
Whenever I do get on.
There's probably a lot of stuff over there. But you do fantastic work. And I know you do some other stuff for some other people here and there. I see you popping up.
Yeah.
Our good friend Rosenberg.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Julian Marquez and Kendra Lust, their show. You've done some stuff here and there. So I don't know. I don't even know. Today's my wife's 40th birthday. I'm going to say that this is in honor of her 40th birthday. I don't really know what else to say. I appreciate you. And thanks for stopping by. This is great.
Man. No, thank you. And thanks everybody for helping out, making this happen. And I'll let you get back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Roberts Pearson, everyone. Wow, what a legend for this belt. Now we have to find a spot for the belt. That is something else. New York Ric, after that fierce debate, comes in with a surprise. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Legend.
You knew about this?
I mean, I had some kind of inkling.
It's an amazing belt. I wonder where I'm going to put it. I kind of feel like I need to put it right here.
Shouldn't you wear a belt?
What a belt. Look at that. That thing is like legit 25 pounds of gold. I don't really know what to say. I've never really been surprised like that on the air. I'm like a little bit, You got anything else you want to say, New York Ric, to help me out here? Or no? I'm at a loss for words. I guess no one's going to help me out. Are you gone? Frank?
I think Rick's going to say it best.
What? There's something else happening?
No.
Okay.
What did I miss?
I was just saying.
Took my cans off.
Oh, is there anything you want to say, or are we done?
No, that's it.
That was Rick's pick?
I seeded my segment. Look, you want to be here? How about that Will Smith and Chris Rock?
Yeah, that was crazy. No, I mean, I saw a tweet from Killishaw earlier in the day. He said that he predicted that your Rick's picks would be Neil Magny, Sexyama, Demetrius Johnson, Matt Brown, and then Will Smith / Chris Rock, depending on which side you roll in the controversy.
Those are not bad, but my buddy Robert Pearson did something really cool and thought you deserved that belt, so I ceded my time.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing thing. What a way to celebrate Jacqueline's birthday as your mic just fell. Goodbye.
I pushed it away.
Oh, you did? Okay, my bad. All right. Well, that was amazing. Yes, in case you didn't know, I am El Campeón of the World Openweight Broadcast League. I am El Campeón World Openweight Broadcasting, meaning if you are unfamiliar with Spanish, I am the champion, the openweight champion, per this belt that I was just gifted for my many years of service, all my hard work, my tireless work and efforts in growing and covering the sport of mixed martial arts. It's about time that we get some respect. It's about time that we get some recognition. And I appreciate the great Roberts Pearson, and everyone involved in this historic moment who made this happen, because it's long overdue that we get somewhat, I'm going to say 17, 18 pounds of gold to recognize that. We talk about immortalization. It's nice to be immortalized once in a while as well. So this is a great moment. I feel like it's a historic moment. It's a moment we'll be talking about on this program for many years to come. And on a day where we talk to future champions and the greatest of all time, what better show than this one to have a moment like this? And so I'm going to take this. Look at this thing. I mean, this is just one of the all-time greatest gifts I've ever received. Can't even imagine how much it costs. That's the first thing I think of. Like, it's real when it makes that sound. You know that? A message to all the haters, all the people out there. I was on Twitter earlier last week, and I saw some people taking shots, below the belt shots. And I thought to myself, do you respond? Do you get into the Twitter spat? Do you save it for the show? Or do you just take the high road? And then I remembered, High Road Helwani is dead. We don't do that anymore. And so I'll just say this. Comical to hear from the people involved in this sport about things like clickbait, about things like you need clicks to survive, about things like you only say things for clicks, when in reality, everything we do in life, no matter our profession, is to engage the audience. When you make a movie, you want people to buy tickets. When you write for a magazine, you want people to buy the magazine. When you write a book, you want people to buy the book. When you're in the fight business, you want people to buy the fights that you are selling. So this old, lazy excuse about why people do things in the media and it only being for clicks is actually nonsensical. It makes no sense. And why it happens and why it's said is to deflect from the truth. And so never let these people in positions of power deflect from the truth, run away from the truth, shy away from the truth by using this old lazy excuse about quote unquote clickbait that media cares about. No, clickbait is you'll never guess what Kim Kardashian was wearing. Please click on this. That's clickbait. Oh, here's a gallery of Paige Van Zandt through the years. That's clickbait. No, talking about the truth and having it backed up by people in the know, that's journalism. That's honesty. And there are people in this sport that don't like that sort of thing. Well, guess what? Things like this prove that we ain't going nowhere. And it also proves, and it's a reminder, that you ain't seen nothing yet. Sing with me, Frank. Baby, you ain't seen nothing yet.
You got it.
You ain't seen nothing yet. You can hear my music. I will leave on that note. There are people who try to discredit by deflecting. We will not allow them to deflect. And perhaps I'll have more to say about this on Wednesday's program. But for now, I'm out of time. I have a birthday party to attend to. Comical. You laugh about moments like this. But this is a great moment in the history of the program. We have a belt. We have great guests. We had a fiery, fierce debate amongst GC, York Ric, Connor. I mean, maybe his best moment in the history of the show. Of course, he didn't believe me when I talked about UFC 144, an event that will live in infamy. I thought Frank did a great job in the debate. I mean, he really brought a lot of facts. I thought he brought examples and, just like some strong points. So all in all, it was a great day. And I look forward to Wednesday's program before... I'm off to Big D for WrestleMania. I want to thank everyone who stopped by today. Thank you very much to Curtis Blaydes. Congrats to him on the big win. Thank you very much to Alexa Grasso. Congrats to her on the big win. Looking forward to what's next for both of them. Thank you very much to George St-Pierre. Thank you very much to Wonderboy Thompson. Thank you very much to Bas Rutten. Thank you very much to Adam Borach. No, wait. That's the Kovacs. actually pronounced the same. That's the Bellator fighter, Kovacs. Thank you very much to Robert Pearson for this amazing belt. Thanks to the team. Thanks to all of you. Back on Wednesday, same time and place. Until then, I say peace.